The story starts with the conflict between two sisters. One of them wanted to snatch other's fiancé, and the parents also sport their rival daughter Catherine, but Duke Ian de Fried interested in Neris instead of Catherine. Catherine said, "I've changed my mind. I'm going to marry Lord de Fried. So give me back my engagement, Neris." Neris asked, "What does she mean? She wants to be his fiancé again? What's going on?" At another nearby location, father speaks. "Neris, you will be engaged to Duke Ian de Fried in your sister's stead." Neris replies, "Pardon?" Father said, "Admittedly, the position of Duchess is much too grand for you. But with the Empire at war, it's best to marry quickly. Go, and don't act foolishly. Be proper," Neris says. "Wait, father, wasn't that marriage proposal for Catherine? I've only just come of age. I need to attend the academy soon." "Father, you agreed." The father slammed his hand on the table and shouted loudly, "That's enough. Attending the academy during wartime? Nonsense. Do you think such a marriage proposal comes easily during times like this?" The father gestured with his finger and said, "It is a duke's proposal. For someone as useless as you, this is an incredible opportunity." She stood silently in front, fear evident in her eyes. She was hearing every word. "You should consider yourself extremely fortunate. Besides, the only reason I allowed you to attend the academy was to help with the family business. Now, that business is closed." She was trembling while his father said, "Listen well, Neris." Her father's servant brought him a paper, and he wrote on it as he talked, "Our family's situation has been very difficult lately. The Duke, knowing our plight, proposed this marriage. He asked for no dowry. Instead, he offered a large sum to support our endeavor. How can we afford to miss such an opportunity? As you said, the proposal was for Catherine, but the North is far too harsh for her." As soon as her father handed the paper to the servant, he asked, "Do you really want to send your delicate sister to such a place? And isn't this arrangement good for you as well? You've finally become a help to the family instead of a burden, so don't fight this. Just quietly prepare to leave." As she quietly stepped out of her father's room, the maids approaching from the other side saw Neris and began whispering among themselves, "Is it true that Lady Neris received that marriage proposal? Well, considering the rumors about him, it makes sense. Who is he anyway? Who else?" "The infamous Ghost Duke, Lord de Fried. I heard he rarely attends high society gatherings. Even when he does, he always wears a strange mask, so no one's seen his face. He exudes such a menacing aura that everyone avoids him. Not only that, he has a terrible relationship with the Emperor. Apparently, the Emperor sent him to the front lines just to get rid of him. To think Lady Neris is marrying into such a family. Poor thing. Shoo! Don't say that, it's none of our business. We shouldn't get involved." Neris asked, "What are you doing? Where are you taking my things?" Maid replies, "His lordship said you must leave for the north at dawn, so we're packing your things in advance." Neris asked, "So soon? How can this be?" She thinks, "I just heard about the engagement." She speaks, "Wait, stop. I need to speak with father again." Catherine asked, "Neris, what are you so upset about?" Neris says, Catherine said, "Remember to maintain your poise as a lady. You must set an example as a noble. Leave us for a moment." Maid says, "But, my lady, there's still much to pack." Catherine speaks, "Didn't you hear me?" "Leave," Maid reply. "Yes, my lady." Catherine asked, "Why do I always have to repeat myself?" "Now sit here, Neris. Why are you making such a fuss? It's quite unlike you," Neris said. "I don't understand why I have to get engaged. Didn't Lord de Fried give you the proposal?" "Please, Catherine. If you could persuade father," Catherine asked while holding Neris's chin. "Neris, are you saying it should be me? You know as well as I that I'm destined to be the flower of high society in the capital. Do you think someone like me should go to that backward place? Does that make any sense at all?" Neris says, "But Catherine, I was supposed to attend the academy." Catherine asked, "I know, but isn't there an academy in the north too?" Neris said, "But they don't have a magic department." Catherine speaks, "Really? Don't tell me you have aspirations of studying magic? Know your place. How could someone as useless as you study magic? You have the tremendous opportunity to be a duchess." Neris asked, "Isn't this a good thing? Or maybe you could charm the Duke. Who knows? He might send you to the academy in the capital if he likes you." Katrine says, "Ah, but that might be difficult for someone as plain as you." "Well, give it your best shot." She sat on the sofa, closed her eyes, and lost in thought, went back a week in time. "I didn't expect to travel for an entire week. The north is indeed far." "No, Neris. Stop with the negative thoughts. You're here at the Duke's estate now. This is a chance to start afresh. Even though the engagement was forced, I have no intention of backing out. This is my chance to escape the family who mocked and belittled me. I will change, starting now. I'll leave behind the quiet, passive old me. From today, I'll live as my new self. Ran her hand over the flowers and said, "How beautiful." Catherine speaks. I didn't know such pretty flowers bloomed in the north. Oh, you're finally here. You're quite late, Neris. Neris shocked and asked, Catherine, what are you doing here? Catherine said, you must be tired from the long journey. Have a seat. This will be your room for a while. Make sure you don't wander around at night. An impressive room, isn't it? I was surprised at how nice it is. Neris asked, Catherine, what are you doing here? Catherine replies, what do you mean? I'm showing you around this magnificent castle. Neris says, magnificent? Weren't you the one who said the north was backward? Why are you suddenly praising this place? Catherine speaks, I've changed my mind. I'm going to marry Lord Dayfried. So give me back my engagement, Neris. Neris said, an engagement is not a joke. In times of war, engagements are sealed by magic-infused paper, creating an unbreakable bond. And my name is already on that bond. This engagement can't be. Catherine says, I want to show you something. Keep quiet and watch closely. Catherine in flashback. Hello, I am Catherine Topana, the betrothed of Duke Ian Dayfried. Did the engagement letter arrive safely? Pardon? The letter has my sister Neris's name on it? Oh dear, it seems our father made a mistake while inebriated. As the eldest daughter of the Topana family, I deeply apologize. Oh, and my sister Neris will be arriving soon. She has been quite anxious since hearing about my engagement during the war. Don't worry, Neris will return home in 2 days. That's what I explained to the butler yesterday, so I'd appreciate it if you followed along with it. Neris speaks. Do you think the Duke will believe such a ridiculous story? Our family will be the laughingstock of high society. The Duke will never break off the engagement for such a reason, and I won't let our family become a subject of ridicule. Besides, you didn't even want this engagement, Catherine said. That's why I'm asking for your help. Whose fault do you think this is? If I could, I'd turn back time, but I can't. All I have is now, so just help me. That place was meant to be mine, Neris says softly. Catherine, what happened? Why are you acting like this all of a sudden? Catherine speaks. Sorry, I'm just so overwhelmed by this situation. But Neris, trust me when I say listening to me will be for the best. I got father's permission for this and the academy enrollment, so you just need to return home. That is, unless you have ambitions of becoming the Duchess? I trust that's not the case, dear sister. Neris thoughts. I thought it was over. Even after leaving home, my family won't let me go. Will I ever be free from them? Ah, forget it. I don't want to think about it right now. It's just too exhausting. A sudden flash of violet light illuminated the towering castle under the night sky. Time seemed to rewind, pulling everything into a haunting flashback. Norman says, Welcome back, Your Grace. Duke Dayfried asked. Is there a problem, Norman? Norman speaks. There's an issue with the engagement arranged with the Topana family. It seems the engagement letter contained the wrong name, Duke Dayfried said. Fiancé, Neris Topana. This engagement was a drunken mistake, and the eldest daughter originally accepted the engagement. Well, it doesn't matter who it is. What a pathetic family, Duke Dayfried thinks. What is that? It doesn't sound like Norman's knock. No other servants should be around. Could it be the young ladies of the Topana family? Norman surely told them not to wander the castle at night. What an ill-mannered lot. Let's take a look at the faces of this pathetic family's offspring. The Duke opened the door and asked, What are you doing there? Neris said. Excuse me, Duke speaks. Something's not right here. What are you? The Duke touched her face. He thinks, is she sleepwalking? She came all the way up to the 4th floor in her sleep. It's impressive she made it without getting hurt. But getting her back to her room is the problem. The Duke lifted her into his arms and said, I have no choice. Pardon me. I'm just taking you to your room. So stay still. She says, All right. Duke asks, Are you Neris? She replies, Yes. He speaks, answering even in your sleep. I'm honored. Are you my fiancé? She replies, Yes. He says, Your sister said this engagement was a mistake. When she stayed silent, the Duke said, Not answering difficult questions, I see. She speaks. Yes, he said. How clever. He laid her down on the bed and said, Good night, Neris. When the beautiful morning light fell on her through the window, she woke up and said, Where am I? She thinks, Right. I arrived at the Duke's castle yesterday, and my sister, why did she suddenly change her mind? She didn't want to come to the north at all. No, it doesn't matter why. I'm not going back home, ever. I realized something the day I left home. As long as I belonged to House Topana, my life would forever be controlled by my family. I would always be a tool that could be discarded at any time. And that's the last thing I want, she said. I don't care what happens to the engagement. I won't act according to my family's wishes ever again. When Neris entered the room, Catherine, sitting at the table, said, You're late, Neris. Even if you're tired from the long journey, you should be respectful. This is not our home, but the castle of my fiancé, Lord de Fried. Make sure to be on time for breakfast from now on. But I suppose you'll be leaving tomorrow anyway. It's such a shame. I wish we could stay in the north together longer. Good luck with your academy enrollment once you're. Neris replies, Actually, I'm going to enroll in the academy here in the north. Catherine stood up to strike her. After you told me about the Northern Academy, I looked into it right away. It seems they've produced many renowned scholars. Knowing such a place is nearby made me realize something, that I want to study at this excellent place. I'll be staying here longer. So don't be too sad, sister, Catherine asked. Didn't you want to study magic? That's why you insisted on the capital's academy. I only just managed to convince father for you. Was your passion for magic so fickle? Neris thinking, Don't back down. You expected this. Speak confidently. My thoughts, my beliefs, my passion for magic will never fade, so I plan to study a variety of things while I'm here. Turns out, the Northern Academy has many subjects I love. Isn't the North a wonderful place, Catherine? Catherine asked angrily. What on earth are you talking about? Neris replied. You are absolutely right, Norman said. Oh, I'm terribly sorry for interrupting. I am Norman, the butler. Hearing Lady Topana's words, I felt a surge of pride for the North, and couldn't help myself. Please forgive my intrusion. Neris speaks. It's all right, Master Norman, Norman said. Please, just call me Norman, Lady Topana. Neris says. I will. Please be at ease around me too, Norman. Catherine thinking, What? Why is she acting so confident all of a sudden? And why is that butler being so kind to her? At this rate, she'll take everything from me again. No, this time, it's mine. It's my place. I won't let it be taken from me like in my miserable past life. Catherine flashback. My name is Catherine Topana. I've always been perfect. I had the charm to be loved by everyone. People adored me, calling me Lady Topana, a cute blossom. But I wasn't the only. Lady Topana, Neris Topana, my younger sister, who was also Lady Topana. Just like me. The moment she was born, I knew instantly. A girl more dreadful than any ghost or beast. Did she think I wouldn't realize? She was born to take what's mine. I'll never let you take it. Never, father said. Poetry recitation contest winner, Catherine Topana. Haha. Truly magnificent, Catherine, Catherine said. I did my best for our family. Father, father says. How thoughtful you are. Such a wonderful daughter deserves a gift. Here, a magical artifact imbued with special power. It will protect you in times of danger. So always keep it with you. Catherine speaks. Wow. Thank you, father. Father thinks. I'm so happy my eldest daughter is already a great help to me. But Neris, on the other hand, do you have nothing to show? Neris said. Well, in the last math test, I scored 100. Catherine speaks. Father, I want to participate in the capital's flower arrangement competition. May I? Father says. Oh. Absolutely. If you win first place, you'll be the center of attention when you debut in high society. Indeed, my eldest daughter has a keen eye. Neris was standing near the door, quietly looking at her paper. Catherine asked, What are you staring at so stupidly? A perfect score on the math test? Haha, were you trying to get praise for this? How pathetic, Neris says. Catherine, give it back. Catherine speaks. Let me give you some advice, little sister. No matter how many first places you get with this. Catherine snatched the paper from her hands, tore it to pieces, and said coldly, You'll always be useless. Remember that. She thinks, See that? How amazing I am. No matter how much you covet what's mine, you'll never have it. I'll make sure you understand that. So just you wait and see. But despite my resolve, I ended up losing everything to Neris. My misfortune began with my engagement to Lord de Fried. I, Catherine Topana, was to be his fiancé. I was utterly dumbfounded by his sudden proposal. I had grown into a proper lady, a well-known figure in the capital's high society, and now I was to marry the so-called Ghost Duke, surrounded by bizarre rumors. Ridiculous. They say he fell out of the king's favor and was sent to the front lines. To appease the king, he sought to ally with a noble family from the capital, intending to prove himself on the battlefield. Father asked, Catherine, what do you make of this? I am deeply troubled by it myself. Catherine says, Indeed, considering the Duke's wealth, it's hard to decline. She thinking again, we can't pass up such a fortune, but I can't get engaged. What should I do? I know, I can have Neris take my place, my pathetic sibling, who always loses to me. This is the perfect chance to get rid of that eyesore completely. Besides, Lord Dayfried might die in the upcoming war with the Western Kingdom. They say he barely survived his last battle due to a grievous injury. We must secure his fortune before he dies. We'll push for the marriage contract as soon as the Duke returns. If he dies, Neris, as his wife, will inherit everything, and with her under our control, his entire fortune could be ours. What a golden opportunity. She speaks. Father, how about arranging this engagement with Neris? Father asked. With that troublesome girl? She replied. Yes. It will benefit our family greatly. Trust me. Just follow my plan. She thinking again. Now that the engagement and Neris are dealt with, nothing stands in my way. My future is bright indeed, but that decision turned out to be my greatest mistake. People are making noise and shouting. We have won the war. Hooray! Hooray! Long live the kingdom of Gideon, the lady said, in recognition of Duke Ian Dayfried's heroic deeds, leading us to victory. He is awarded the Empire's first Medal of Honor. Now that our kingdom has become an empire, the Emperor wishes to maintain a good relationship with the Duke, other one says, so we can expect to see the Duke and Duchess frequently in high society. That's wonderful, Lady Top-Anna. Your sister, the Duchess Dayfried, must be thrilled. Catherine speaks. Indeed, I am truly happy for her, servant said loudly, presenting Duke Ian Dayfried and Duchess Neris Dayfried. Catherine thinks, no, it can't be. Is that really Lord Dayfried and Neris? Someone said. My goodness, the Duke is nothing like the rumors. How incredibly handsome, like a sculpture, truly, other one speaks. And the Duchess is so beautiful, so elegant and overflowing with grace. They are truly the stars of this ball. Catherine thoughts. It was supposed to be mine. That perfect man, the envy of everyone. That position, admired and coveted by all. It was mine. I was the rightful owner. Neris took everything from me. Having lost everything to my sister, I fell into despair. I kept replaying that shocking day in my mind, and drowned myself in alcohol every day. Unable to bear it, my father secretly accepted a large sum to marry me off to an old marquis from the West. Realizing this too late, I fell into despair again. She think, if things continue, I'll be manipulated by this insidious man forever. I must escape. Neris, it's all because of that devil of a sister. That greedy wench ruined my life. I will never let her get away with. What's happening? Is this how I die? No. It can't end like this. If only I had another chance. Give me a chance to reclaim what was taken from me by my dreadful sister. Just one more chance. How dare she? She already stole what was mine in the past life. Now she dares to defy me? Strange. She was never this arrogant before. Why is she suddenly acting different? Could she have realized that I've returned? Ha! That's impossible. How could that dull-witted girl know my secret? Catherine said. She's just acting a bit differently, for whatever reason. It was thanks to this lovely magical artifact that I returned. I still have an advantage over Neris. This time, I will have it all. Everything is mine. I will never let Neris take anything from me. Neris said in present day. Ha! I'm so tired. I didn't expect the luncheon to be so exhausting. Neris thinking, is it because I defied my sister for the first time? This is bad. Until the Duke returns, I'll have to keep facing her. Can I hold out until then? Emma says. Lady Neris, it's Emma. I've come to deliver a message from Lady Catherine. Neris reply. From my sister? She think, is she still angry about the luncheon? She opened the door. What did she say? Emma speaks. It's all in this letter. Please read it now and I will deliver your response. Neris thinking again. What could she have written? Neris reading the letter. To my sister Neris. Today at lunch, I noticed your table manners and social etiquette were a mess. To correct your shortcomings, join me for breakfast tomorrow. You must learn now, so that when you meet my fiancé, the Duke, I won't be so embarrassed. So, be sure to come for breakfast tomorrow. Your concerned sister. Is this simply because I talked back a little? You are always so consistent, sister. Ever since we were young, if I didn't listen to you even for a moment, you would immediately tell our parents and get me in trouble. You would drag me to gatherings and make me mess up on purpose, turning me into a laughingstock. In the end, unable to endure those situations, I always had to apologize to you, even when I did nothing wrong. I thought it was because I was so pathetic. Looking back, it was all your bullying. Still, I thought you wouldn't torment me here, since this isn't home. How naive of me. But I refuse to stand by and take it anymore. I won't, Neris said. Emma, Tell my sister I will definitely be at breakfast tomorrow, and that I'm looking forward to it. I'd be most thrilled to receive her etiquette lessons, Norman says. It seems the top Anna ladies are not on good terms. Duke de Fried speaks. A family quarrel in an empty castle. How utterly pathetic, Norman said. With all due respect, Your Grace, it seems the younger Lady Top Anna enjoys our estate very much. Moreover, she mentioned taking Carlisle Academy's entrance exam. From what I heard, she has a great interest in magic studies. Perhaps when you formally return you could, Duke de Fried says. Norman, this engagement was purely out of necessity, nothing more. Don't put too much significance into it. Norman replies, Yes, Your Grace. I understand. He was sitting at his table, writing something, as if he had lost himself in thought. I know that sound. Could it be? Duke said. It's you again. Neris. He thinks again. I had a feeling it was you. To think you'd come here even in your sleep. Surely, you won't be like this the entire time you're here. That would be troublesome. He speaks. We'll worry about that later. Let's get you to your room first. He thinks. It's a relief you didn't wake up midway. You really are a handful, my lady. If this keeps happening, it will be awkward for both of us. I should tell Norman before I return to the battlefield. She woke up from her sleep and held the Duke's arm. Is she awake? No, she's not. She grabbed me in her sleep. That startled me. Wait, it was pure luck that she didn't wake while I brought her to her room. What if she wakes up if I move now? I'd have some explaining to do. That would be awkward indeed. I'll just wait. She might move in her sleep again. If she doesn't, and she wakes up in the morning, I'll disappear right then. She'll think it was all a dream. Neris spoke in her sleep. No, please, don't do this. Please, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Catherine, I'm sorry. I was wrong, Catherine. He looked at her and fell into deep thoughts. Why is she begging like that? Could it be because of the fight Norman mentioned earlier? I thought it was just a typical sibling quarrel, she said. I was wrong, he replies. Calm down, Neris. It's just me here right now. You don't need to apologize. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong, so don't be afraid. Sleep well, Neris. The Duke de Fried lifted the tense curtain and stepped inside. Hartman said, Welcome back, Commander. Commander asked. Hartman. Do you have a report on the enemy's status last night? Hartman replied. No significant movements to report, sir. Commander speaks. Good. Then let's start the strategy meeting now. She thinking, am I dressed up enough? Or should I add something else? It's been a while since I dressed myself. I'm not sure if I did a good job. Emma originally came with me as my lady's maid, but when Catherine appeared at the castle, Emma immediately went to her, leaving me alone. I suppose Emma was Catherine's maid at home, so I understand why she went with her. No, I should stop thinking negatively. Steel yourself, Neris. You're meeting Catherine soon. I should try to imagine how she'll react. As soon as he opened the door, the maid who was approaching from the other side was hit by it and fell. Maid asked. What on earth did I bump into? Neris asked. Excuse me, are you okay? Maid replies. I'm sorry, my lady. I didn't see where I was going. She asked. Why are you apologizing? You're the one who fell, not me. Are you hurt? Are you in pain? Are you able to stand? Maid reply. I'm fine. Really, she said. That's a relief. I'm truly sorry. I was lost in thought, and clearly not paying attention. Maid says. Oh, my lady, please let me do it. She speaks. It's okay. It was my fault you fell. Besides, we'll clear it much faster if we work together. Maid said. Thank you, my lady. She added. Haha, not to worry. My, this is certainly a lot of laundry. Isn't it too heavy to carry by yourself? Maid reply. Oh, it's fine. I usually carry much heavier things. She asked. Really? Like what? Maid speaks. Sometimes I move heavy food supplies in the kitchen, or I have to rearrange furniture. So this isn't heavy at all. She said. That's impressive. Are all maids as strong as you? Maid speaks. Maybe I'm just unique. Thank you for your help, my lady, and I apologize again for startling you earlier. She says. No, I should be the one apologizing. Take care, Catherine said. Late again today, Neris. If you made a promise, you should keep it. How can you keep your sister waiting like this? Punctuality is very important in high society, so try to be on time next time. Neris asked. Catherine, where did you get those accessories and clothes? I haven't seen them before. Catherine replied. Oh, these? The Duke's household prepared them for me. One can't transport a lot of luggage during a war. When I mentioned I was going to arrive by a transportation circle, they prepared these for me. They told me I was free to use them as an esteemed guest. Aren't they kind? Neris thinking, to say such things while dressed like that. Her extravagant look contradicts everything she just said. Could Catherine have Lost her mind? Catherine said. Is there something on my face, Neris? Neris. Oh, it's nothing. Catherine speaks. It's very rude to stare like that. Such a lapse of etiquette warrants a polite apology. Otherwise, expect your reputation in high society to suffer. I'm worried about you, Neris. How is it that you're going to enroll in the Northern Academy? With such a lack of basic manners? A word of advice. Choose your department wisely, and don't be flaky once you've decided. Neris thinking again. As expected, etiquette lessons were just an excuse. She just wanted to mock me and make me feel embarrassed over breakfast. My sister hasn't changed at all. But I have. I won't let her get to me anymore, Neris said. I appreciate your concern, Catherine, but you don't need to worry. I'm going to the Northern Academy to improve on my shortcomings. As I mentioned yesterday, the academy here has an array of great departments. It's truly the perfect place for me, don't you think? Catherine says. Well, that's good to hear. Do you have a particular department in mind? Neris replies. Yes, I'm planning to take the entrance exam for the accounting department. I'm very confident in mathematics, Norman said. Oh, Lady Neris, are you good with numbers? Neris replied. Yes, I am. I studied very hard using all sorts of theoretical books at home. Norman speaks. That's impressive. In that case, I must tell you this. Our Duke offers generous support for talented individuals. Neris says. Support for talented individuals. Norman said. Yes, His Grace is very much dedicated to discovering and nurturing talent for the development of the duchy. Those who receive his patronage go on to serve as officials for the North, utilizing their skills. Please keep this in mind. Neris thinking. Generous support. Norman says. Yes, this is it. Neris speaks. Catherine, I need to get going. Catherine asks. What? Wait. You haven't even eaten yet, Neris said. Something urgent came up. Please enjoy lunch and dinner alone today. Thank you for the information, Norman. Norman replied. I'll be cheering for you, Lady Neris. Duke Defried says. The Western Kingdom's forces are on the move again. We have no time to waste. We must strike first, Hartman replied. Yes, now is the perfect moment. While they are weakened, Soldier 1 said. We must prepare for an attack. The other soldier asked. How? Our supplies haven't been replenished yet, and our mages haven't fully recovered from the last battle. How do you propose we attack in this state? Duke speaks. Explain yourselves. Vice Commander, when will the supplies be ready? Hartman said. In 2 days, sir. Duke added. Until then, strengthen surveillance on the enemy, and gather the knights for battle training. Make sure they're ready to fight at a moment's notice. Hartman says. So much whining. Everyone seems antsy after winning the last battle, even though it's hard. Duke speaks. The war has dragged on longer than expected. It's natural to be restless. Most haven't been home for quite a while. Hartman replied. Well, that's true. Are you going to stay in the barracks alone again today? Duke Defried replied. Yes. I have things to take care of. Hartman asked. Aren't you spending too much time alone? Think about how I have to fend off the medics and officers every night. Duke replies. Of course I think about it. Thanks to my capable vice commander, I can be alone in peace. I'm always grateful. Hartman says. If only you'd stop talking. How's the engagement going? I heard the daughter from that family is quite famous in the capital. Have you seen her? What is she like? Duke thinks. What is she like? I've only seen her while she was sleeping, so I don't really know what kind of person she is. I wonder what she's like when she's awake. As smart yet unpredictable as when she sleeps? Or maybe, Duke said, she was like the sky. Hartman asked. What? Like the sky? Duke replies. Yes. Just like the sky. Completely unpredictable. With sky blue eyes. Neris wrote its own application and started reading it. Applied to this academy for magic and the future of this nation. All right. This should be enough for my application. She think, why did I only find out about this now? Generous support. If the Duke acknowledges my talent, I can attend the academy on my own merits, and if I graduate as a top student with his patronage, I might become an official in the North for the Defried family. This is my chance. Wait a minute. If that happens, I'll have to see Catherine around, won't I? She'll be the Duchess by then. I never cared about this engagement in the first place. But my sister always wanted the title, she said. Would she let me be? She'd likely still torment me. Whatever. I'll deal with it when the time comes, Norman says. Lady Neris, if it's not too much trouble, may we have a word? She speaks. Yes. Just a moment. What is it, Norman? Norman reply. Allow me to show you to your new room, my lady. She thinks. Wow, what an incredibly luxurious room. It's even warmer than my previous one. Did they use magic stones for heating the furniture? Or is it Norman asked. Do you like it? She replied. Oh, yes. I love it. Thank you so much for giving me such wonderful accommodation. But Norman, why did you change my room? The previous one was already excellent, Norman said. Embarrassingly, we discovered too late that there was a heating issue in your original quarters. To make up for any discomfort caused by my oversight, we decided to move you to a better room. Please enjoy it, she says. I was never uncomfortable, so don't worry too much, Norman. Norman speaks. Thank you for saying that. Jean entered the room and said, Mr. Norman, I brought lunch. Norman replied. Come in, Lady Neris. There's someone I'd like to introduce. Neris said. You're the one with the laundry. Jean speaks. Allow me to formally introduce myself, my lady. My name is Jean, and I've been assigned as your personal maid. Neris says. Oh, I'm so happy, Jean. Jean replied. The pleasure is all mine, my lady. Norman asked. I take it you two know each other already? Neris replied. Yes. In fact, Jean almost got hurt because of my mistake. Jean said. Technically, it was my fault, my lady. Neris speaks. Nonsense, the fault was all mine. Norman. Haha, I see. Jean, let's prepare the meal now. Jean says. Yes, sir. Neris asked. Where does that door lead? Norman speaks. It's a decorative door. It's been here since the mansion was first built. She thinking. So, some places have doors just for decoration. This place is fascinating in so many ways. Duke speaks. It's better not to wake a sleepwalker but to gently guide them back to bed. But we've already had several conversations. I guess I shouldn't have done that. Are you prone to anxiety, Neris? She asked. Jean, can I really use such a magnificent library? Jean replies. Of course. The Duke has instructed us to keep it open for guests at all times. So please, feel free to use it as you wish. She thinking. The people here truly care about their guests. Not only did they offer me a better room because of issues with the previous one, but they also provided a dedicated maid and new dresses. I've never been treated like this in my life. Surely such warm hospitality reflects the Duke's excellent character. He's truly remarkable. As a guest of the Duke's estate, I must express my gratitude to him. Neris says. Jean, the Duke won't be back for a while, will he? Jean said. Yes. The situation with the Western Kingdom isn't good right now. They say another battle is imminent. His return date will depend on the outcome of that battle. Emma entered the room and said. Excuse me, Lady Neris. Neris asked. Emma, what is it? Emma said. Lady Catherine wishes to have tea with you. Catherine speaks. Honestly, you've embarrassed me, Neris. You left so abruptly yesterday. What kept you so busy that you didn't show your face all day? From now on, let's always have breakfast together as sisters. Wouldn't it be good to show the Duke's people our harmonious family? Neris thinking. Harmonious. Yes, our family always dined together happily. Everyone except for me. Whenever I joined family meals, I faced their scorn and neglect. So I always had to eat alone in my room. At one point, I even thought I was adopted. Neris said. All right, I'll join you for breakfast every day, as you wish. Catherine says. Good. That's a wise decision. Neris speaks. If that's all, may I leave now? I'm quite busy, Catherine said. Then let me give you your present now. Neris, tea leaves. Catherine speaks. It's a tea that helps with sleep. I was worried since you have trouble sleeping at night. Neris asked. What are you talking about? I sleep well, Catherine said. But you've been sleepwalking. 2 years ago, Father said your sleepwalking was completely cured, didn't he? Neris, that was a lie for your sake. Father said it to reassure you, but your condition wasn't cured. Let's see, when did your haunted illness first appear? I remember. You were wearing a cute dress just like today. 7 years ago, Neris's 13th birthday. Guest speaks. Happy birthday, Lady Topana. Happy birthday, Lady Topana, the guest said. I didn't know the Topana family had such a beautiful second daughter. Indeed, you look perfect in that pretty dress. Other guest says. You are truly lovely, Lady Topana. Catherine thinking. How on earth does that hopeless girl share the same name as me? And she dares to smile in front of me? How should I teach that presumptuous brat a lesson? This should do, Catherine said. Oh, Neris. Come over and greet my friends. Neris replies. Yes, Catherine. Nice to meet you. I am Neris Topana. Thank you for coming too. With a swift movement, Catherine extended her leg and Neris stumbled to the ground. She asked. Oh my, Neris. Are you alright? See, you should have been careful. Why rush over like that? She says. Well, it's just. Guest speaks. Are you alright, Lady Topana? Oh dear, your dress is ruined, but you're covered in cherry juice, so I can hardly help you. Someone whispering. The Topana family sure knows how to entertain. Mother speaks. What kind of disgraceful display is this? I worked hard to prepare your birthday party, and you bring shame to our house? How much more do you intend to disappoint me? Neris, mother, maid asked. Oh my, Lady Neris, what are you doing here at this hour? Why are you banging your head? Can you hear me? My lady, Lady Neris, Catherine said. Since then, you started wandering around the house while asleep. Father tried everything to cure your sleepwalking. Emma, what did you say you saw? Emma says, just a few months ago, I clearly saw Lady Neris wandering around at night. She asked. You heard that, right? So make sure to drink this tea every night before bed. It wouldn't do to break our gracious host's rules. Neris thinking, if what she said is true, I might have been wandering around the Duke's estate at night these past few days. If so, the Duke's people would have seen me, and they would surely report my sleepwalking to the Duke. If that happens, I won't be able to become a northern official. I won't even get into the academy. I need to act fast. I need to find out if Catherine is right about my sleepwalking, she said. This greenhouse is truly amazing. It's the middle of autumn, and the freesias are blooming beautifully. No wonder it's famous even in the capital. Maybe it's because I didn't see Neris this morning, but this place feels even more special, she thinking. It's truly absurd, acting out just because we're away from home. Scaring her with talk of sleepwalking was a good move. Next time, I'll make sure to properly teach her a lesson. No matter how much she struggles, she'll realize that I'm the one in control. She asked, Did you call for me, Lady Top Anna? Thank you for coming, Norman, Norman said. I heard you had something to ask me, she replies. Yes, there's something very important I need to know. Does the Duke have a private transportation circle in the castle? High-ranking nobles or wealthy individuals in the capital usually have such circles in their mansions. I assume the same would apply to my fiancé. So surely the Duke must have secretly returned to the castle at some point, right? Please tell me, Norman. I'm so worried about him that I can't sleep at night. Or at least let me know when he uses the transportation circle again. She thinking again. In my previous life, I was convinced the Duke would die in the war, only because the one who told me that was my then lover, Crown Prince Theophilus. Though our time together was short, Theo's information was always reliable. But instead of dying, the Duke returned as a war hero. I'd wondered what had happened. It turns out, it was all thanks to his private transportation circle. He used it to return to the castle and get treated, which saved his life. I can't believe I realized it so late. I'm such a fool, Norman said. I'm sorry, Lady Top Anna. With the ongoing war, all information about His Grace and the castle is classified, so please do not ask again. Now if you'll excuse me, she asked. Wait a moment, why can't you tell me? I'm the Duke's fiancé. I have every right to know his whereabouts. Why is it a secret even from me? Norman replies, I'm very sorry, but the Duke's official fiancé right now is Lady Neris Top Anna, as signed in the betrothal contract, and you are merely a guest of His Grace. She thinks for a moment. Neris is the official fiancé? I understood the mistake with the betrothal contract on the first day, but resolving such issues is solely within His Grace's authority, Norman says, so please wait patiently for His Grace's safe return. Until then, we will do our best to serve you. Jean asked, My lady, did something happen with your sister yesterday? Neris replied, Pardon? Jean says, You didn't sleep at all last night, and you seem anxious, and you didn't go to the library. Is there something on your mind? Neris thinking, What should I do? Should I ask Jean first? No, she might not know yet. I must hide my sleepwalking for as long as possible. Otherwise, things could turn out just like last times. Emma said, Lady Neris, it's Norman. Neris, come in, Norman says. Excuse me? Jean. I have a favor to ask you, Jean asked. Yes? What is it? Norman speaks. Go to the village and buy the ingredients listed here. It seems we might run out by dinner, Jean replied. Right away. I'll be back shortly, my lady. Neris, have a safe trip, Jean replied. Will do, Norman said. I heard you had something to discuss with me, so I sent Jean on an errand. It seemed like it was something important, she thinking. As expected, the castle's butler is exceptional. Not only did he read my thoughts, but he's also being incredibly considerate. I think I can trust him with my secret, she says. The truth is I have a sleepwalking illness. It first happened when I was 13. And we've tried various treatments, but none have worked. I suffered from it for so long. But when I turned 18, it miraculously disappeared. Maids stood guard in my room every night, and they saw me sleeping quietly in my bed for months. So I told my father that I was cured. But yesterday, my sister told me it was all a lie. I can't trust her. But if what she says is true, I might have broken the rule of not wandering the castle at night. I worry that I may have caused trouble for everyone. That's my biggest concern. He speaks. Thank you for your concern, Lady Neris. But please don't worry too much. We can resolve this by checking the detection sphere. She asked. Detection sphere, he says. This castle has several such security artifacts to detect intruders. These magical artifacts transmit footage to connected detection spheres whenever movement is detected at night. To keep this matter private, I'll give you one detection sphere. Please use it to monitor your condition at your own discretion, Lady Neris, she said. Thank you so much, Norman. 1 month later, the soldier speaks. At this rate, we'll be wiped out. Retreat immediately, Duke Dayfried said. The Western Kingdom soldiers are fleeing. Push harder. Don't let them escape. With a fiery surge, someone launches a blazing spell at the Duke. A soldier cries out in alarm, but the Duke remains composed, meeting the incoming fire head-on as flames swirl around him. Trainer said, Take up your sword. Take it, Ian. Now, are you really this exhausted from a light spar? To control your immense mana core, you must train your mind and body. Now, get back into position. Mother speaks. Ian, don't resent your father too much. He's doing this because he wants you to live a full life. Mages born into House Dayfried are so powerful. They've long been envied by the royal and noble families, and that continues to this day. So you must keep it a secret that you're a mage, and only use magic to protect yourself. That's the only way to avoid an unjust death. Can you do that, Ian? Ian replied. Yes, Mother, I promise. No matter the situation, I will always hide that I am a mage. Always. Norman asked. Your Grace, are you all right? Duke Dayfried asked. Norman replied. I'm glad you're conscious. Duke asked. How did I end up here? Norman replied. You collapsed in the transportation circle room. We treated you and moved you to the bedroom. Sir Hartman sent an urgent message explaining the situation. He said you were attacked by a mage from the Western Kingdom, and after winning the battle, you returned to the camp and teleported back. Duke speaks. That's right. I let my guard down for a moment and was attacked. Hartman must be beside himself trying to fend off the medics. Norman said, This is no laughing matter, Your Grace. Wounds caused by magic take a long time to heal, and you might suffer from high fevers. So please rest. Duke asked, How is my fiancé? Is she well? Norman replied. I'm not sure, Norman said. Didn't you say not to put too much importance on this engagement? He speaks. I must confess, I don't know who you're referring to. Norman says, You should rest now, Your Grace. He asked, Is she not coming tonight? I thought I might see her after so long. I miss you, Neris. Neris moved rooms? Emma said. Yes, it seems she's moved to a larger and more luxurious room for some reason. Catherine asked. When was that? Emma replied. I don't know, my lady. Catherine says. That's enough, you can go now. Emma speaks. Ah, yes, my lady. Catherine thinking. Useless, the lot of them. Emma is worthless, and the butler is persistently annoying. If only this engagement situation could be resolved. So please wait patiently for His Grace's safe return. When will that be? Usually, the wedding is held a year after the engagement. But in wartime, they might sign the marriage contract immediately to secure an heir. But in my previous life, Neris seemed to marry much later. Damn, I can't remember the exact timing. Back then, Father kept pressuring me, because the Duke wasn't dying quickly enough. So I deliberately tried not to care about the North. She said, He sold me and Neris off for money, and had the nerve to be angry. Well, what could I expect from someone who already lost his fortune in business? Anyway, even if I don't know much about the North, I'm still more suited to be Duchess. She think again. Historically, the North has always felt distant from the capital, both physically and psychologically, with little cultural exchange. If someone like me, who has close ties to the capital's nobility, becomes the Duchess, the North will no longer be isolated. Lord Dayfried must know that. So, naturally, he will choose me as his wife when he returns. She says, but something's missing. I need something more to capture the Duke's heart. Is there anything from my past life that could help? The Dayfrieds once had a magic stone business. Toward the end of the war, they started an innovative business with magic stones in the North. The capital was buzzing about it, and everyone began to see the North in a new light. I'll start that business first, and if I succeed and present it to the Duke, you have proven your dedication to the North, and are truly worthy of being my wife. Why didn't I think of this sooner? I should write down all my memories and organize them. Let's see. We have about a year until the end of the war. Within that time, I need to succeed in the business, and deal with Neris once and for all. She thought, though I haven't seen her for a month. After scaring her with that sleepwalking story, It seems she has no intention of returning home. I suppose it's understandable, considering her empty family life. She spoke suddenly. If the reason she's staying here is because she doesn't want to go home, then I just need to create a different place for her, right? Now it's time to swap the stick for a carrot. Norman asked. Can you see last night's events, Lady Neris? Neris replied. No, I can't see anything. So the sleepwalking was a lie after all, Norman said. That's a relief. Neris speaks. Thank you for lending me the detection sphere this past month, Norman. Jean says. My lady, Lady Catherine has invited you to join her for breakfast. Catherine asked. What kind of men do you like? Strong and well-built? Kind and delicate? Or perhaps a slender, handsome young man? Tell me, my dear sister. Tell me, Neris. What kind of men do you like? Neris asked. Why do you ask? Catherine said. You should start meeting someone, but you lack experience. I'm worried you won't know how to choose a good man. Neris thinking. She has a point. My kind of man. That would be, Neris says, a mage. My ideal man is a mage. A mage would understand the practical application of new magical theories, wouldn't he? We could experiment together right away and share our opinions. I'd love to have a mage by my side. Catherine speaks. Hold on, Neris. Wouldn't having a friend who's a mage be enough? Neris. What? Catherine says. An ideal type means someone you could develop romantic feelings for, not just someone to satisfy your academic curiosity. Understand? Neris replied. Yes, I understand, Catherine said. Then let me ask again. What kind of physical features do you prefer in a man? Neris added. Well, I don't think it really matters how he looks. Catherine speaks. Neris. A man's appearance is very important. So answer seriously, okay? Neris says. I haven't really thought about it, Catherine added. You've attended several social gatherings with me. Try to imagine based on those experiences. Neris says. Well, a very handsome and charming man, Catherine said. That's too simple. Answer properly. Neris speaks. But Catherine, the reason I love magic is quite simple too. When I was struggling with sleepwalking, I found a book in our library by chance. An anonymous mage's theory of magic. Even though it was covered in dust, it shone brightly. I couldn't take my eyes off it. That's how I fell in love with magic. So my ideal type is a handsome and dazzling man. I'm exhausted from my sister's pestering. Why is she acting like this all of a sudden? Talking about men and romance all day, Catherine asked. How about a dependable man with a charming smile? You can't act coy when you're dating. You have to be proactive, even if it means kissing him. Neris said. Kissing? I don't even have anyone I'm interested in. How could I do something like that? I have no idea what my sister is thinking. She think, what is this gentle patting? Is someone beside me? Sparkling red eyes. He's incredibly handsome. Something about him seems familiar. The theory of magic book. The book must have transformed into a human, Neris says. This is amazing. You're my favorite thing in this entire world. Thank you for coming to me. Duke speaks. I'm glad to hear that, Neris. Neris think again. I'm so sleepy. I wish I could just sleep here. That's right, my sister said to kiss him. She said, come back again sometime. Promise me. Duke Day fried thinking. Neris, I was worried about how you'd manage at night without me. It seems you found your way back to your room. I'm so relieved. For a moment, I thought it would be nice to get caught. I must be out of my mind. Revealing my presence would only cause trouble for both of us. Norman asked. Your Grace, is there anything else you need? He replied. I'm fine. Norman speaks. That's a relief. Also, Sir Girolamo Poltron has come to visit today, he said. Poltron? Norman speaks. A viscounty in the Dayfried Duchy, with whom we've had no contact for the past 80 years. He currently lives in the capital, serving as a knight in the Royal Knights. He has come to see you out of respect and curiosity, having heard of your leadership in the recent war. He has requested to stay at the castle for a few days during his travels. What should we do? He asked. Where is he now? Norman replies. He is currently in the library, speaking with the Top Anna sisters. He says, since I'm officially absent, we have no choice but to take him in for now. But I'd like to get a look at him. Sir Poltron speaks. Oh, you are my love. A fire of passion burns all for you, Catherine said. That was a wonderful serenade, Sir Poltron. Sir Poltron replies. Thank you for the compliment, Lady Catherine. Catherine asked. What did you think, Neris? Wasn't it splendid? Neris replies. Yes. You sang very well. Neris' inner thoughts. What on earth is going on? I was already surprised when my sister burst into the library. Then she introduced this knight as her friend, and he started singing. Why sing in a library? Catherine said. So that young lady ended up cheating after all, Poltron added. Well, she was always as capricious as the wind, so I'm not surprised. Ah. You do have a way with words, don't you? I'm quite impressed, Lady Catherine. Catherine speaks. You flatter me. You are still as delightful as ever, Sir Poltron. Poltron says. Oh, did you hear about Baron Leicester's embarrassing fall recently? Catherine said. Goodness. How did that happen? Neris speaks. Excuse me, but I will take my leave now, Catherine asked. Already? Neris replies. Yes, I have things to do. It was nice meeting you, Sir Poltron. Poltron said. I'm glad to hear that. Then, can I expect you to join us for dinner tonight, Lady Neris? Neris reply. Pardon? No, Catherine says. Neris, it's always more enjoyable with more people. Join us. It's been so long since we shared a meal. Neris, all right. While standing above, the Duke used his magic, and the book fell. Then Jean said, excuse me, the book was so heavy. I apologize for the interruption. Neris asked, Jean, are you okay? That sounded like it hurt. Jean replied, I'm fine, my lady. Poltron speaks. Oh dear, it seems the maid made a mistake. What a thick tome. No wonder, it seems far too heavy for a woman. Let me help you, Jean. Oh no! I can do it, Poltron says. As a knight, it's only natural to help a lady in distress, so please don't feel burdened. Then please, leave it to me. This is nothing. It's so heavy, Catherine said. Sir Poltron, please stop. I'll call for someone. Poltron says. No! I can do it. Jean was watching silently when the Duke used his magic. Norman asked, Your Grace, didn't I insist on you taking absolute rest? He said. It was an urgent situation. Norman speaks. Don't lie. Jean told me everything. Using magic to immobilize the book and make Sir Poltron fall. You used more magic right after using travel magic to get to the library, which only made your wound worse. Why on earth would you do that? He said. Not only did he grab my fiancée's hand without permission, but he also put her in an awkward situation. How could I just stand by and watch? Norman says, Your Grace, I beg you, please don't shelter Lady Neris too much. I am truly happy that you have chosen her as your fiancé. However, overprotecting her is not beneficial. Warm sunlight and clean water are good, yes, but only by enduring storms and droughts can a tree grow strong. He says, My fiancé is not that weak. Norman said, I know. Lady Neris has a strong spirit, but she is not yet ready to handle the North. Only someone with the leadership to unite all northern nobles, and the courage to withstand the royal court's scrutiny, can become the Lady of the Northern Territories. So please, watch over Lady Neris from a distance, and let her grow. If any danger arises, I will step in. So please take care of yourself, Your Grace. Your presence here is supposed to be a secret, he said. Very well, Jean asked. Is His Grace all right? Norman speaks. It's quite serious. You should also be cautious in front of His Grace for a while, Jean said. Understood. Norman added, By the way, Jean, what do you think of Lady Neris? Jean speaks. She is really kind. She's definitely different from the nobles in the capital. She is gentle and considerate toward us. So many of the servants are fond of her. But she seems too weak when it comes to Lady Catherine. Although she tries to stand up to her sister, she still struggles with it, and that worries me. Norman says, That's my biggest concern as well. But she has far more strengths than weaknesses, and she works very hard. Let's trust and keep an eye on her a bit longer. The soldier speaks. Didn't you say the commander was injured by the Western Kingdom's magic? Other one said. Then we should treat him. Why are you stopping us? Or at least tell us his condition, Hartman says. Well, thing is, Hartman thinks, Ian, you carefree fool. I thought you were going to be back quickly. We won the last battle, so the war will enter a lull for a while. Wrap everything up within a week and get back here. Hurry up so we can all return home. If not, I'll spread rumors that you're at death's door. Hartman, Norman said. Sir Hartman was right about you being at death's door, he replies. Stop nagging, I've reflected enough. Norman speaks. Tonight will be tough due to the fever, so I suggest you take your medicine and rest here, Your Grace. He says. Is Neris all right? Neris said. That's a made-up story, isn't it, Sir Poltron? Poltron replies. No, it's true. Here, take a look. These strong-arm muscles are proof, aren't they? Since then, those thugs have made sure to avoid me. Catherine says. I admire your confidence, my lord. Don't you find Sir Poltron amusing, Neris? Neris replies. Yes, very amusing. Neris' inner thoughts. Now I understand what my sister is planning. Right now, she is trying to matchmake me with Sir Poltron. That's why she talked about men all day yesterday, Catherine says. A man's appearance is very important. Neris thinks, I don't know why she's doing this, but I should be careful not to fall for her schemes. Catherine said, this place is strange in many ways. Even the night rules Catherine told me about. No wonder it's called the Ghost's Estate. I wouldn't expect any less from a place with such an eccentric owner. Oh my, are you trying to frighten the soon-to-be bride of House Day Fried? Poltron says, haha, that's not my intention. It's just that our families are closely tied, so I've heard many stories about this place. When building this castle, the first duke, who was a mage, cast many bizarre spells on it. One of those spells was probably to bind his soul to the castle. Hence the rule about not wandering around at night. I urge you ladies to follow that rule strictly, otherwise you might encounter the ghost of the first duke. Catherine speaks, Sir Poltron. Don't just like that, Poltron says, I'm sorry, but that's why the capital's nobles avoid the Dayfried family. Neris calmly said, so what if the ghost appears? Personally, I would thank him. I've read all his books, and they inspired my dreams. Catherine asked, do you feel such a kinship with a ghost? You've always been strange, Neris, but that's going too far. I'm sorry, Sir Poltron. My sister is a bookworm with no social etiquette. Poltron smiling and said, it's all right. In fact, I'm touched by Neris's warm heart. Neris speaks, you are very understanding, my lord. Then you should leave, Catherine. I won't. I will stay and welcome him, Catherine said. You really? Poltron asked. Ha! What's the big fuss if a ghost appears? If one shows up, I'll take it down in one blow. Not to worry, ladies, Catherine speaks. My sister is so pure. Isn't she adorable? Poltron added. Indeed. So adorable that it makes me want to protect her, Neris said. I appreciate your sentiment, but I'll have to politely decline, Sir Poltron. I am already interested in someone, so I won't be needing your protection, my lord. I'll take my leave now. Have a good night, Sir Poltron. Poltron says, I really like that she's nothing like you. Why didn't you introduce her when we were in the capital? Catherine added. Because she was ill back then. Poltron asked. Ill? How is she now? Catherine said. I don't know. Ask her yourself. Though you made quite an impression in the library, so I'm not sure if she'll answer. Poltron says. Ha! I can easily make up for that. I've captured the hearts of many ladies in the capital. A naive girl like her? I could win her over with my eyes closed. I'll entertain her as you requested, and return her to the capital. Just sit back and watch. Catherine thinking, I'm glad I remembered Girolamo happened to be vacationing near the north. He's a perfect match for Neris's peculiar tastes, and he can show her the harsh realities of life. That should get rid of her quickly, she says. You must succeed, for the sake of our friendship. Understood? Duke Dayfried thinks. Neris. Sleepwalking again? What story will you tell this time? Will it be the same confession as before? Duke asked. Do you want to be my love interest? Neris replied. I lied today about having someone I'm interested in. It made me wish I really did. Could you be that person for me? He thinking again. It doesn't mean anything. When you wake up, you won't remember any of this. And if it doesn't mean anything, there's no need for an emotional response. But, Duke Dayfried said, I'll do it. If it's okay with you, that is. I would like to be that person for you, Neris said in her sleep. Thank you for being my love interest. Jean asked. My lady, did you sleep poorly last night? You don't look very well. Neris replies. No, I slept fine, but I kept dreaming. Jean asked. Did you have a nightmare? Neris replies. No, it was a very pleasant dream. I think it was about a book on magical theory. But then the book transformed into a person and appeared before me. She thinking, why on earth did I dream about a man? Is it because my sister keeps trying to set me up with Sir Poltron? Or is it because I lied about having someone I like? Could that be why I had such a dream? Whatever it is, it seems like Catherine has influenced me. Neris asked. Jean, why haven't I changed at all? When I first came to the north, I promised myself I would change. But I still can't stand up to my sister. It feels like nothing has changed. Jean replies. That's not true, my lady. From what I've seen, you've changed a lot. Slowly but surely, you're changing every day. So don't be too impatient or down about it. The fact that you're trying is enough. She thinks again. I am trying. She asked. Jean, can I call you sister? Jean says. What? No, you can't, my lady, Neris said. Why not? You're 3 years older than me, and I've heard that nobles and servants are close in the north. Jean speaks. Well, yes, but they're not like family, more like advisors, Neris says. Then I'll just think of you that way. I won't call you sister, but you'll be one in spirit. Would that be all right? Jean said. Only if it's in spirit. Neris thinking. From the pleasant dream about the magical theory book, to the incredibly kind people of the north, Every day here has been so exciting. I'm so glad I came, Poltron said. You look exceptionally beautiful today, Lady Neris. The sky is as clear and blue as your eyes, perfect weather for a walk. Would you care to join me? It'll just be the two of us, she says. The north is indeed colder than the capital, he asked. If you're cold, Lady Neris, may I offer you my coat? She replies. I appreciate the thought, Sir Poltron, but I actually quite like the cold northern air, so I would prefer to enjoy this refreshing day to its fullest, he said. I see, she thinking. I only came because he was so insistent. She speaks. I want to walk alone, he added. Won't that be boring? Let's walk together. She thinks again. Maybe that was a mistake. I even lied about having someone I like yesterday. I guess that wasn't enough to deter him. This time, I should be more clear. Poltron asked. Do you like the north, my lady? Neris replies. Yes, I do. Why do you ask? Poltron speaks. To tell you the truth, I was quite surprised when Lady Catherine became engaged to Lord Dayfried. The main reason the capital's nobles avoid this place is because of the former Lord Dayfried. The previous dukes of the north were already reclusive, which strained relations with the royal family. But the former Lord Dayfried acted so much in his own interests that he fell out of favor with His Majesty. To make amends for his father's mistakes, the current duke took the lead on the battlefield. It's a shame the son has to suffer for the father's foolishness. Duke Ian Dayfried is truly a pitiable man. Neris, that's strange, Poltron said. Right, the north is strange. She speaks. I mean, you are strange, Sir Poltron. Didn't you say yesterday that our families are deeply connected? But listening to your story, it doesn't seem that way. And I distinctly remember saying that I like the north. So I don't understand why you're telling me this. Well, it's just that you seem so unaware. Poltron speaks. Unaware about what, exactly? Many things. Lady Neris, you've just come of age. Yet you don't seem accustomed to socializing. You haven't attended many gatherings, have you? She thinks. That's true. My sleepwalking started when I was young. My parents were too embarrassed to let me go outside, let alone attend a debutante ball. But I studied social etiquette diligently through books. I guess that wasn't enough. Sir Poltron, while holding Lady Neris's hand, said, Lady Neris, don't worry. I'll teach you everything, she said. Let go of me. He grazed a finger over her lips, teasing her, and said, I'll teach you everything you don't know, since you're so adorable. He grabbed Neris's face, so she stomped hard on his foot with her shoe. He said, Ouch. My foot. What is the meaning of this, Lady Neris? She speaks. You were trying to harass me, Poltron asked. Harass? This is not harassment, it's called being affectionate, Neris said. Don't be ridiculous. I told you to let go, and I never gave you permission to touch me, he says. That cute defiance will change once you're in my arms. She speaks. Let go of me right now. Suddenly, someone punched Poltron, and he fell to the ground. Did Neris see a man wearing a mask? She thinking. Wow, to knock out a royal knight in one blow. Who is this person? Not anyone I've seen in the castle, but something about him feels familiar. The next day, some nobles went to the emperor. Someone said, I am here to see the emperor. Emperor asked, Tell me, what is the situation with the Western Kingdom since the last battle? They replied, Thanks to Lord Dayfried's victory, it will take quite some time for the Western Kingdom to wage war again. Emperor asked again, Can we not press them further? He replies, That may be difficult due to the possibility of neutral countries siding with the enemy, Your Majesty. Emperor reply, Fine. Then let's keep an eye on the situation. You are dismissed. Knight said, Your Majesty, I have something to report. Emperor asked, Is it about Theophilus? He replied, Yes. Recently, the Crown Prince has been actively engaging with your close aides. At this rate, most of the royal faction will side with him. Emperor smirks and says, What an audacious boy, blinded by ambition, trying to usurp his own father. Can I really call him my son? Knight said, If you command it, I will take care of it immediately. Emperor speaks, No, there is no need for that yet. This time, we should follow Dayfried's advice. What is the Duke doing now? Knight speaks. It appears he has been using magic circles frequently. He might be traveling to and from the duchy at night for work, or to heal his recent injuries. However, I couldn't get close enough to his camp to confirm. If you need, I can investigate his camp right away. Emperor said, No. Do not do anything that might draw his suspicion. Just keep an eye on his movements from a distance. Kurg, Knight asked, Your Majesty, are you alright? I'll get your medicine right away. Emperor says, It will subside soon. No need to make a fuss. I wish everything would start soon. Norman speaks, I am truly sorry, Lady Neris. If I had been monitoring Sir Poltron more closely, this wouldn't have happened. I never thought a royal knight would commit such a disgraceful act. Neris replies, No, it's not your fault, Norman. The fault lies with Sir Poltron, Norman said, but it is my greater fault for not preventing such a terrible thing. She added, No one could have known, and you sent the knights when you knew I was in danger. Thanks to you coming immediately, I was unharmed. Are you alright? Thank you for your prompt action, Norman. I'm really fine, so please stop blaming yourself, he said. Thank you, Lady Neris, and I wrote this for you, my statement on the incident. She asked. Your statement? He says. I wrote it in case there might be repercussions for anyone. If you submit it to the royal knights, Sir Poltron won't dare to act recklessly again. Don't worry. He left the duchy this morning, Neris asked. Really? Are you sure? Norman replies. Yes. The fact is, yesterday's events were visible through detection spheres placed throughout the estate, which allowed us to quickly resolve the situation. We also have the recordings stored separately. When we threatened to send the recordings to the royal knights, he left on his own. Then he took her statement, tucking it into his coat as he said, Thank you for always caring for us. I will keep this statement safe. And to prevent another incident like that. Without warning, a masked knight stepped through the doorway. Norman speaks. We will assign you a personal knight for protection, Neris says. Ah, you're the one from yesterday, Norman said. This gentleman is a knight of the Dayfried family, a highly skilled individual. Neris thinking. I was worried when he disappeared as soon as Norman arrived. So, he was one of House Dayfried's knights. I'm so glad to meet you again, she said. Thank you so much for helping me yesterday. As the second daughter of the Topana family, I will always remember your kindness. My name is Neris Topana. What is your name, sir? She thinks. Why is he not responding? Norman said. He is under a vow of silence at the moment, so he cannot speak. She thinking again. A vow of silence? No wonder he had such a unique aura. He's like an ancient mage from the fairy tales I read as a child. Maybe he admires mages as much as I do. Huh, he's writing something. My name is... Cherry? Neris asked. Your name is Cherry? She thinks again. Oh, it's not. Then, Sir. Rick, she said, I look forward to working with you, Sir Sarek. The moment he stepped into his room and removed his mask, it was revealed that he was Duke Dayfried. Duke Dayfried speaks. I should have killed that scoundrel. Beating him and sending him away wasn't enough. I regret letting such a vile man go free. Norman says, Your Grace, please refrain from using magic until you fully recover. You used magic when you went to Lady Neris yesterday. Doing so will slow your recovery even more. Duke Dayfried said, Don't worry. I recover quickly, even if it hurts a bit. Once I'm fully healed, I'll resume my magic training immediately. Norman speaks. At least we managed this situation well. We have evidence on our side, and Lady Neris made her stance clear. Sir Poltron won't be able to cause any more trouble, Duke said. I should give a gift to my thoughtful fiancé, to help her forget about this whole ordeal. Jean asked, My lady, would you like to go on an outing to the nearby village? Neris asked. An outing? Jean replies, Yes. You haven't left the castle grounds since you arrived. There's a festival on in the village, so it might be a good chance to lift your spirits. Neris says, All right. I'll talk to my sister about it. Jean asked. Why would you do that, my lady? Neris asked. Won't she be going too? Jean replies. You can go and enjoy it on your own. Neris says. On my own? She would never allow that. Jean speaks. You could sneak out. You don't need her permission for something like this. Neris thinking. Why did I think I needed her permission? I suppose my parents never let me go out alone. They always insisted I go with my sister, but not anymore. Neris says. All right. Let's go, Jean. Jean reply. Oh, I can't go. Neris asked. Huh? Why not? Jean speaks. I have to stay here and cover for you, but the dependable Sir Sarek will accompany you instead. Neris says. But that'll be awkward. Jean replies. Don't worry. He's not as odd as he seems. The awkwardness will fade once you start having fun. Just trust me. Go and enjoy yourself, my lady. Neris speaks. Sir Sarek. Look over there. Jean told me about that shop. They have the best fig muffins. We must get some. What kind of baking do you like, Sir Sarek? He scribbled something on his hand. Whatever you like, my lady, she says. I like all kinds, but I'm most partial to scones. The buttery aroma and crispy texture is just perfect. Scones are the best baked goods I've had since coming here. But honestly, everything at the Duke's castle has been delicious, he said. Let us get a variety, she added. Great. We'll buy out the store, the lady speaks. It's been so long since I've seen fireworks. Other one said. They say it will be especially grand this time. I heard they even brought in experts from other regions. First Lady asked. Really? I can't wait. Neris thinks fireworks and said, Sir Sarek, are there really fireworks tonight? Pointing with his finger, he said. Where will they be? She smiled and speaks. Over there? I'm so excited. He asked. Have you never seen fireworks before? She replied. Never. They're banned in the capital, so I've never had the chance. I always heard about them from my sister, and imagined what they'd be like. I can't believe I get to see fireworks here. The north is truly a magnificent place. As she stepped into the shop, the shopkeeper speaks. Next customer, please. Welcome. What can I get you? She replied. One of each, please. Shopkeeper says. Sure, please wait a moment. He took out a coin and handed it over. She speaks. No, please don't, Sir Sarek. You don't need to pay. Let me. He jotted down something on his hand. I have plenty of money. More than enough. Neris asked. More than enough money. Hee. Jean will be so surprised. Thank you so much, Sir Sarek. She thinking. I never imagined she'd get along so well with Jean. I should buy some tea on the way back. Or was it inevitable since they see each other every day? Have a good time, my lady. I'll bring back lots of gifts. The two of them always have so much to talk about, so naturally they'd grow close. I'm envious. She asked. Sir Sarek, shall we go over there next? It says. Welcome to a magical world. It looks like they might sell magical artifacts or potions, or perhaps rare spellbooks. Are you not interested in magic? If that's the case, I'm sorry. I assumed you liked magic as much as I do because of your vow of silence. I guess I got carried away because I love magic so much. He touched his shoulder and gestured toward the shop with his finger. She said, Oh, you want to go in? Really? Are you sure? He writes on his hand. I like magic too, truly. Let's go in together. Catherine asked. What did you just say? Why can't I see my sister? Say that again. Lady Neris is very ill right now. That's why, as her sister, I'm here to check on her condition. Why won't you let me in? Jean replies. She suffered from a high fever all night and only just fell asleep. She is not in a state to see anyone right now, so please come back later. Catherine thinking, how dare this insolent maid? I'm already annoyed because Girolamo isn't doing his job properly, and now this worthless maid is testing my patience. The northern nobles treat their servants like family, but I've heard that makes them arrogant. Everyone except Lord Dayfried seems to fit that rumor. As the future Duchess, I can't just stand by and watch. Catherine slapped Jean. Say that again. Why can't I see my sister? Jean replies. I'm sorry, but for Lady Neris's rest, please come back later. Catherine asked. You dare rise above your station? When Catherine raised her hand to hit Jean again, Norman asked. What is going on here? She said. Norman. Perfect timing. This girl seems poorly trained. I suggest you hand her over to me. I'll teach this insolent maid a proper lesson. Norman says. Don't be ridiculous. No matter if you are the Duke's guest, you cannot treat the staff so disrespectfully. Everyone here has earned the Duke's trust. Never do such an inconsiderate thing again. She asked. Did you just yell at me? A mere commoner? Norman replied. Yes. Would you like to slap me now? And I'm not a commoner. I hold a baron's title. She said. This matter should be kept quiet, unless you want to make your precious Neris cry. Norman replied. Yes, Lady Catherine. As you wish. We need to get rid of her. No. Who knows what Lady Catherine might do, but we can't let such a dangerous person stay here. If we leave it as it is, she might do something else. Jean says. I'm fine, uncle. Please keep today's events a secret. His Grace and Lady Neris are creating such wonderful memories. I don't want them to worry, and you shouldn't worry either. Lady Neris will soon put her in her place. Until then, let's just keep an eye on things. Sibylla said. You've finally arrived. Welcome. Neris thinking. What does she mean by finally? Sibylla says. I am Sibylla. I have the ability to read the tides of fate hidden in the skies. Neris thinking. She's a fortune teller, not a mage. That's disappointing. I thought she was a mage. Huh. Is that a magic circle? I've never seen it in any book. Could magic be related to astrology? Sibylla speaks. You both possess the power to shape your fate, but it seems the young lady has no stamina, possibly from doing nothing but reading indoors. Make sure to practice horse riding regularly. If that's difficult, basic swordsmanship would be beneficial. Otherwise, you'll suffer later. Neris thinks. How did she know I only read books? Sibylla asked. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will answer if I can. Neris thinking again. Questions. They say fortune tellers just make things up. But strangely, I feel like I can trust this person. Since I've come all this way, I might as well ask something. Neris asked, will I be able to settle in the north? I really like it here. The scenery, the people, everything is so kind and warm. I want to live here forever. Will I be able to? Sibylla asked. Tell me, miss, what is your opinion on lying for a good cause? Neris asked. Lying for a good cause? Sibylla said. It's an important question. Please answer sincerely. Neris thinking. A lie for a good cause, huh? My sister once said that our father told a white lie to reassure me about my sleepwalking. She said he did it to comfort me, but the father I know wouldn't do that. However, if there truly were good intentions behind it, Neris said, if the lie truly holds good intentions, I think it's acceptable. At least, it's better than malice or mockery. Sibylla, I see, he thinks. Oh, the fireworks have started. We should go out now to see them. I just can't bring myself to say it. Sibylla says, it seems you haven't achieved your goal yet, but with enough ambition you can do it. So don't hesitate, and give it your all. Your future will be filled with fortune. She speaks. That was really fun. Thank you for spending the day with me, Sir Sarek. I had a wonderful time thanks to you. He writes on his hand, but we didn't get to see the fireworks. I'm sorry. I should have suggested we leave the shop earlier, she replied. Oh. It's okay. I heard there will be fireworks next year too. We can see them then, so don't worry too much. He asked, you plan to be here next year? Neris replies, yes. The fortune teller said if I have ambition, I'll achieve it. So, I'll be even more ambitious. I really do want to live in the north. Elsewhere, a servant arrived and said, excuse me, your highness? Theophilus asked, what is it? Servant replies, a letter for you from Lady Topana. Theophilus speaks, it must be urgent, given the hour. Tell me, how is father these days? Servant said, His Majesty is well, your highness. Nothing particular to report. Theophilus asked, and my brothers at the front? Servant says, they are monitoring the movements of the Western Kingdom, and are still stationed in the war zone. Theophilus asked again, do they really think they'll all make it back alive? How tenacious their lives are, like pests. Crown Prince Theophilus of the Empire of Gideon, Theophilus said, it's amusing, isn't it? The war must end soon for the succession ceremony to proceed. But thinking of my brothers, I wish the war would intensify. Only if they all die will father hand over the throne to me without question. To think I have to protect what's mine from my own siblings. In that regard, Catherine and I are quite similar, aren't we? And how is that matter progressing? Servant says, it is almost complete, your highness. Theophilus, almost? Servant replies, yes. The mage just needs to make some adjustments through experiments. Theophilus angrily asked, who gave you the luxury of a week? Tell them to complete it in 3 days, or I'll have all your heads. Neris said, Sir, wait, Sir Sarek, can you slow down a little? Sir Sarek, could we move on to another training? Something a bit less strenuous. The Sarek spoke through a gesture. There is no training as simple and effective for stamina as running, and I did warn you it would be tough. Neris speaks angrily, but I want to learn swordsmanship. I thought we'd start with sword training right away. I never imagined we'd be running 10 laps around the training ground. The Sarek spoke through a gesture. The foundation of swordsmanship is stamina. With your current condition, you are prone to injury. So endure it, even if it's difficult. Neris said, then can we rest for a bit? I'm exhausted. The Sarek gestured. Let's take a 5-minute break. Neris asked, really? Do you mean it? Don't go back on your word now, Catherine said. Oh, look at you. After all that fuss about being sick for the last few days. Seems it was nothing after all. Neris asked, what brings you here, sister? Catherine replied, I heard you were better, so I came to see you. What are you doing here instead of resting in your room? Neris said, I was doing stamina training to learn swordsmanship. Catherine asked, with that man? Neris says, oh, let me introduce you. This is Sir Sarek, a knight of House Dayfried. He's the one who saved me from Sir Poltron the other day. Catherine thinking, so it was you who ruined my plan. Why is your face covered so suspiciously? Are you a criminal on the run? Catherine asked. You there. Why don't you introduce yourself? Can't speak because your tongue is cut out? Neris speaks. Catherine, that's not fair. Sir Sarek is observing a vow of silence. Catherine asked, why are you so angry? It was just a jest. Neris replies, a jest? That was an insult. Apologize to Sir Sarek immediately. Catherine says, Neris, you must really like this man, protecting him like a child. Neris said, what? No, it's not that. Sir Sarek is just a friend. Catherine replies, all right. You two are friends, are you? Sir Sarek, it seems my sister likes you very much. Please continue to keep her company. The Sarek spoke through a gesture. I'm sorry, but as a free knight of the duchy, I am leaving for the west tomorrow. I cannot fulfill that request. Neris, oh, Catherine asked. What is with that hand gesture? Are you mocking me? Neris replied. No, he's not. Sir Sarek is leaving for the west tomorrow. Catherine asked. Oh, really? Neris, you should head back first. I'd like to speak to Sir Sarek in private. Neris asked. What? But, Sarek think. I'm sure she'll just torment him. The Sarek spoke through a gesture. It's all right. Please return to your room and rest. I will come to say goodbye before I leave. Neris said. You must, Sir Sarek. Catherine speaks. If you are going west to meet the Duke, you should delay your journey. His Grace was attacked by a mage from the Western Kingdom, and is currently unconscious. It will be difficult for him to return to the north for a while. He thinking, how does she know this classified information? The only ones aware of my injury are the knights present at the scene, and Vice Commander Hartman. In the capital, only the king would know. So how does this woman? Catherine speaks. Oh, don't be surprised. I'm well connected, and I exchange valuable information with highly trusted sources. But that's not what I wanted to speak to you about. I have a proposal for you. If you like my sister, take her. I'll handle the aftermath, so don't worry. He thinks, she's completely mad. I heard from Norman that the top Anna sisters don't get along. But to offer her sister to a stranger, there's no need to engage further. Try to seduce her. I wish you luck. Neris spoke to himself. Why isn't Sir Sarek here? He promised to say goodbye before leaving. She thinks, did Catherine offend him somehow? Does he think I'm the same and just left? Or did she speak ill of me? She says to himself, I shouldn't have left them alone together. Neris heard a knock at the door and said, Ah, Jean. Come in. Jean, has Sir Sarek already? Oh, Sir Sarek. He speaks through a gesture. I apologize for coming so late. Neris added, Oh, it's no problem. I'm just glad we can say goodbye. You're heading west tomorrow, aren't you? I see. Please take care. I'll keep up with the running you recommended, Sir Sarek. When you return, will you teach me swordsmanship? And let's watch the fireworks together. What do you think? Are you making a promise? Sarek speaks through a gesture. I will return, teach you swordsmanship, and watch the fireworks with you. I promise. Outside a glowing tent nestled in a quiet forest, the wind whispers softly as an aura of anticipation fills the air. A mysterious masked figure descends gracefully, cloaked in magic, surrounded by glowing light and enchanted luggage. Hartman asked, What's with that gloomy mask? Were you planning to stay in hiding for a long time? Duke said, The soundproofing artifact is activated, so be honest. Hartman speaks. You wouldn't have returned if I hadn't sent an urgent message, right? Duke added. The injury was quite severe, but thanks to my capable vice commander, I've recovered somewhat. I'm truly grateful. Hartman says, I didn't expect it to be so serious. It will take some more time to fully recover, Duke said. But more than that, it seems there are already people spreading rumors about my injury. Hartman asked, What? So soon? Duke replied. I expected it, but I didn't think the news would reach the north so quickly. It'll spread to the capital soon. Even if we limit outside contact, we can't stop letters sent to families while the war is in a lull. I'm guessing that's how the capital's informants are relaying information, Hartman said. Those capital nobles are so sly. I understand that information is valuable, but do they really want to do this during a war? And if you confront them, they act so brazen about it. Their shamelessness is nothing new. Let's announce that my injury is severe and I need more rest. Cast? Really? He replies. Yes. Hundreds of soldiers saw me get attacked, and you kept the medics away from me. It would be believable. Duke speaks. I suppose the Western Kingdom is in bad shape. They're quiet right now, and the capital is considering a truce. It should be fine for you to be away for a while. That's good news. I'll take this opportunity to rest very leisurely at home. Hartman speaks. Ian, does the reason you're making an announcement about your injury have anything to do with your fiancé? Duke asked. What if it does? He asked. What? Are you serious? Weren't you going to break off the engagement? I purposefully recommended a family that would be happy to exchange a temporary engagement for money to make you appear as a compliant duke, seeking the emperor's favor. Are you changing your mind now? Duke speaks. I have no intention of ending the engagement. Marrying her won't interfere with our plans. Everything is going as expected, so don't worry, he replies. Fine. Do as you wish. I'll prepare the announcement that you'll be returning on medical leave. Catherine Topana must be quite the woman for you to be so smitten, though her family is a bit lacking, Duke said. She's not my fiancé. He asked. What are you talking about now? Then who are you engaged to? Duke replies, Count Topana's second daughter, Neris Topana. She's my fiancé, Neris said. Phew. 10 laps done. She thinking, it's tougher than I thought. The fortune teller was right. I do have weak stamina. I'll keep running in the training grounds, and try outside when my stamina improves. That way, I can learn swordsmanship from Sir Seric later, she says, but for now, I'll rest a bit more, Sir Seric. Just for a moment, Catherine asked. What are you mumbling about? Neris asked. What is it now, Catherine? Catherine speaks. Oh, come on. Anyone hearing us would think we weren't close. Father and mother will be here soon, so get up, wash, and change your clothes. Neris added. I see. It's been a while since I last saw them, Catherine asked. Huh. You're taking this well, aren't you? I thought you'd ask why they're coming. Neris replies. Of course they are. Both of their daughters up and left to the north. I figured they'd visit soon, considering your erratic behavior about the engagement. Father and mother have taken their time, Catherine said. See you in a bit, sister. Neris got ready and thinks, it's okay, you can do this. Just as I said to Catherine, this was expected. So don't be scared, and don't lose confidence. No matter what they say, I can handle it, she says. It's been a while, father, mother. Mother and father looked towards Neris. Father asked angrily, what are you doing here? What are you doing here without a thought to return home? You must have heard about the engagement from Catherine. You should have turned back immediately, mother asked. How could you stay here? It's shameless, really. How is your sister supposed to face her fiancé later? Why do you always bring disgrace to our family? Neris says. Father, mother, I am, Catherine said. Oh, stop standing out here in the cold, and come inside. I'll take you to the greenhouse, mother asked. Do you mean the Duke's glass greenhouse? Catherine replies. That's the one. It's known for its beauty even in the capital. I spend time there every day. Father speaks. My goodness, we raised at least one daughter well, indeed. Now we have something to boast about in the capital. It was worth the trouble coming to the north, Catherine thought. They know nothing. The true treasure of the north isn't the greenhouse or the immense wealth. It's the perfect Duke, Lord Dayfried himself. Just thinking about him makes my heart flutter. That extraordinary man is my future husband. When I dance with him at the Victory Ball a year from now, all the noble women will envy and admire me, including Neris. Neris said, Catherine, is that the greenhouse? Mother speaks. It looks like construction is going on. Father added. It doesn't exactly seem usable right now. Catherine asked. Wait a moment. Norman, what is going on here? Norman says. Good morning, Lady Catherine. Never mind the greeting. Explain the situation. We are currently repairing and reinforcing the greenhouse for winter. Catherine asked. How could this be? You should have informed me beforehand. Norman speaks. I sincerely apologize, Lady Catherine, but in the north, preparing for winter is crucial. Please, I ask for your understanding and patience. Catherine quietly came into the room with her parents and sat down. Mother asked, You know, darling, the Duke's estate is larger and more impressive than we thought, isn't it? Father added, Oh? Ah, yes, indeed. It seems a lot of money was spent. With this, the wedding can be quite splendid. Neris speaks. I am planning to go to the Northern Academy. Father said angrily. You foolish girl. How do you expect to fund that? Do you think money grows on trees? Mother asked. Catherine, what nonsense is your sister talking about? Catherine replied while she was having tea. Neris is aiming to secure the Duke's patronage. The Dayfried family generously supports the development of talent in the north. She thinks she can be a beneficiary. Mother speaks. You foolish girl. The Duke's patronage? Father says. You've been entertaining hopeless dreams since coming to the north, haven't you? I will never allow it. So give up now, Neris replies. But Catherine said she got your permission for my academy admission, Father. The father shouted and said, Things have changed. Do you know how difficult it is for me these days? How can a daughter only think of herself? Neris said. My mind is already made up. No matter what you say, nothing will change. So please, Father, Mother, allow me to do this. Of course not that it matters if you don't, Mother asked. What's gotten into her? Where is that rude attitude coming from? Catherine says. I've tried to coax her many times, but she remains the same. So as I mentioned in my letter, please take Neris with you when you leave. Father speaks. It's a good thing you told us. Now you might as well explain while we're here. When did you push the engagement onto Neris? And why did you suddenly change your mind? And the letter you left on the day you departed? Even thinking about it now, it's truly absurd. Are you trying to turn me into a drunkard and break off Neris's engagement? Catherine replies. I know I was out of line this time. But, Father, as I mentioned in the letter, it's the position of Duchess. How could I miss such a great opportunity? Mother said. But Catherine, you wanted to become the flower of high society. That's why we supported you in every way, Catherine added. I can achieve that dream in the north. You know I have the ability. Father speaks. Then let me ask you one more thing about the letter you sent last week. You said you would start a business and fund my ventures? Catherine replies. Yes, I already have strong partners supporting me. In fact, I'll be leaving the Duke's estate for that soon. It will take about a week. Mother asked. Do you really have to go? What if the Duke returns while you're away? Catherine says. There are rumors in the capital that the Duke is severely injured. He will probably return only after fully recovering. I'll be back before then, so don't worry. Please take care of Neris while I'm gone. Neris thinks, I'm so tired. As if preparing for the entrance exams weren't enough. Dealing with father and mother is even more exhausting. Still, for the first time, I expressed my will to my parents. Maybe I have grown up a bit. Suddenly, Jean knocked on the door. She said, Yes? Come in. Jean speaks. Excuse me, my lady. The Count and Countess Topana have requested your presence at dinner. What would you like to do? Neris asked. Will Catherine be attending as well? Jean replied. No, Lady Catherine is not at the estate. She left this afternoon to visit a friend. Neris said to himself. Catherine went on a trip? She began to think. She seemed determined not to leave until the Duke returned. What could have changed her mind so suddenly? Whatever it is, only father and mother will be at dinner. Perhaps they won't criticize me as much as they do at home. Well, even if they do, I won't take it lying down like I used to. Neris asked. Jean, could you prepare a dress for the dinner? Something much more extravagant than usual, please. Neris thinking. I thought they would insist we go home immediately. Why are they so quiet? Could it really be because I dressed up more than usual? You've changed so much, my lady, so don't back down. Face them confidently. If so, Jean's efforts paid off. Father said. Neris, go down to the estate and help Diego for a while. Neris asked. Why should I? Father speaks. You've always had your nose in books, so you should know a bit about estate management. Neris replied. That's your responsibility, father, not mine, and I clearly stated that I would go to the Northern Academy. Mother asked. Do you really think you can get in? You've become quite confident since coming to the North, haven't you? Neris speaks loudly. Of course. Have you forgotten? I came here to become a duchess, until my sister broke off the engagement for absurd reasons. I was Lord Defried's fiancé. So please, don't treat me carelessly like at home, or oppose my entry to the academy. Father asked furious. You dare defy me? She added. I'll break off the engagement as you wish. But if you continue to block me, I'll do whatever it takes to protect my dreams. Father said. How dare you? Neris said to himself. It's okay, Neris. You're doing well. Just keep going. Don't let their words hurt you anymore. Mother asked. How did I end up with a child like this? I know you're my daughter. But how can you be so different from Catherine? Truly, it makes my skin crawl. Be honest. You covet that fiancé position, don't you? She replied. No, I just want to pursue my dream, Mother said. Don't make excuses. You never intended to break off the engagement, claiming dreams just to cling to the Duke. Mother asked. Isn't she despicable, dear? Father says. You're right. This foolish girl has impure intentions. Mother speaks. Stop dreaming, Neris. Do you think the Duke would ever look at someone like you? Father added. You've been holed up at home reading books all your life. Have you lost touch with reality? Do grow up, she said. How could you say? Servant announcing. Duke Ian de Fried has arrived. Ian de Fried said. You must be my fiancé, Lady Neris Topana. I've been longing to meet you. She thinks. Is this Lord de Fried? Father said loudly. You have the wrong girl, your grace. When the Duke extended his hand toward Neris, she placed her hand on his. Your engagement to Neris is a mistake. She is not your fiancé. If you don't mind, may we talk? I'll explain everything. I'm so glad you returned safely, Lord de Fried. It's regrettable that I have to bring this up just as you've arrived. The truth is, I was quite drunk when the engagement was arranged. Ha! I was so heartbroken at the time. So now well, Ian de Fried thinking. What do I do now? Tradition dictates that I show respect to Neris's parents. But, I know you're my daughter. But how can you be so different from Catherine? Truly, it makes my skin crawl. You're right, dear. This foolish girl has impure intentions. I want to overturn everything. I thought only the sister disliked Neris, but it seems the whole family feels the same. I want to overturn everything, but I must endure for the sake of the marriage contract. Ian de Fried said. I understand your situation, but the Emperor has already approved this engagement. Father speaks. That is why I'm asking you for this favor, Your Grace. Your rightful match is our Catherine. Once you see her, you'll understand. Ian speaks. I doubt it will change my mind. The Emperor is troubled by the war. It wouldn't be right to bother him with such trivial matters. Thur thinks, damn it. I did as Catherine said, and this is what I get. And why is he so reluctant to break off the engagement? Could it be, Thur asked, Your Grace, do you favor Neris? Father thinks again. I can't believe it. How could he favor such a girl? Well, in any case, I no longer need to beg him to break off the engagement. Father speaks. Very well then. Let us consider this. If it's all right with you, Your Grace, keep both Catherine and Neris here. Observe them a bit longer. If you agree, I won't take Neris away immediately. Neris thinks. Finally, Lord Dayfried has returned. The only one who can make my dreams come true, and far more impressive and magnificent than I ever imagined. Ugh. Get a grip, Neris. Stop thinking nonsense and focus on your dream. Someone knocking the door. She stood up and asked, Yes, who is it? Ian replied, It's Ian Dayfried. Neris opened the door and said, Oh, hello, Your Grace. Ian speaks. I apologize for visiting at such a late hour. The truth is, I can't seem to sleep. If you don't mind, would you take a walk with me? Neris goes for a walk with the Duke, and while walking, her inner thoughts evolve. Wow, this is amazing. Even though we're outside, it's not cold at all. In fact, it's warm. Is there some special magical artifact installed here? Duke said. It's the magic of the first Duke. I don't know what kind of spell he cast, but this place is uniquely warm. That's why you can see this amazing scenery all year round. It helps keep it heated too. Are you disturbed by it? Neris turned back and replied, Not at all. I couldn't be happier. I truly admire Lord Tatar, the founding father of House Dayfried. I've read all his books. They're simply awe-inspiring. His insights into magic are truly incredible. Duke speaks. As his descendant, I am honored to hear that. Your praise means a lot to me. I heard from Norman that you're very interested in magic, and it seems that is indeed true. Neris replied. Ah, yes. She think. I must be really nervous. My heart keeps pounding. Stay calm, Neris. How many times have you imagined your goal in your head? You've got this. Now it's time to put it into action. She speaks. I do love magic, but what I really want is to attend Carlisle Academy. You might think I'm being fickle, but I'm also very confident in mathematics. My goal is to enter Carlisle's accounting department as the first step in achieving my dream. So, I was wanting to ask you for your patronage, Your Grace. Duke says. It's not fickle at all, Lady Topana. I once wanted to attend the academy too, so I understand your feelings completely. Do you have your academy application ready? Let me review it, and I'll give your request some serious thought. She blushed and asked. Yes, I do. When can I show it to you? Duke asked. How about tomorrow morning at the library? She replied. That would be amazing. Thank you so much, Your Grace. Norman speaks. Excuse me, Your Grace. A message from His Majesty has just arrived, and then he handed over a letter. The Duke took the letter and asked, At this hour of the night? Norman replied. Yes, it was sent urgently. Duke asked, What could it be for the Emperor to send a letter directly? The Duke opened the letter and began to read. As per your wish, I have ensured that the engagement contract remains intact. However, I ask you to keep Catherine Topana in the north. We've received information that she and the Crown Prince are plotting something. Prevent her from returning to the capital until we know their exact plans. If you do this, I assure you our alliance will remain strong. After reading the letter, the Duke suddenly became lost in thought. Everyone is desperate to thwart me. What are they plotting? Damn, this means I'll have to keep that despicable woman in my castle for a while. I was planning to sign the marriage contract tomorrow. He delivered a strong punch to the table and then fell into deep thought. She's truly an unpleasant woman. Duke speaks. Norman, assign shadows to Catherine Topana immediately. Ensure they have communication artifacts to carry out orders promptly. Norman replied. Understood, Your Grace. Suddenly, the sound of the door opening echoed, and the Duke began to speak to himself. I wanted to be alone with Neris. She was so happy just because I said I'd consider her application. I wonder what else could make her happy. Something that would make her smile even brighter. He was lost in thought, tapping his fingers or hand absent-mindedly. I should proceed slowly, close the distance between us bit by bit, so she doesn't get startled. I want to become someone Neris loves. Meanwhile, somewhere else inside the castle, Mother said, sit still and stop being so fidgety. Moving around won't make Catherine return any faster. Aren't you worried at all? Didn't you hear Lord Dayfried the other day? Nothing said in this castle goes unheard, except in the guest rooms. So from now on, as per your daughter's wishes, treat her with the respect due to my fiancé. If not, you will both bear the consequences. Father says meekly, His Grace simply asked for peace and quiet. You know Catherine left for an important mission. She spoke with disappointment, but remember the look in the Duke's eyes. Such a perfect man, contrary to all rumors, should belong to our Catherine. Yet he seems interested in Neris. Father asked, Dear, you don't think the Duke intends to marry her, do you? He thinks. It does seem like he has an interest in Neris. Well, it doesn't matter who he marries as long as we get his fortune. What's important now is the success of Catherine's business. I must say, even though she's my daughter, I'm truly impressed. Who would have thought she'd secure a deal with the reclusive Dalavis? If her business succeeds, we'll have both the Duke's fortune and Catherine's profits. We'll catch two birds with one stone. We cannot let this opportunity be thwarted, he said. My dear, Catherine is currently engaged in a very critical task. She'll be back in a week, so we shouldn't disturb her. Let's wait calmly for her return without making a fuss. Later that morning, at the library, the Duke was holding the thesis in his hand and asked the Lady Topana, Did you stay up all night to do this? She replied, Oh, no, it's not that I stayed up all night. I went to bed late. That's all. After looking at the thesis, the Duke spoke. In other words, you did stay up all night. It's impressive that you prepared both the application and the thesis. But next time, don't overwork yourself. I can review it slowly. Actually, I finished the application a while ago. I just wanted to refine the thesis more, so I ended up with this. It's my first thesis, so I wanted it to be perfect. Duke speaks. For a first thesis, this is quite impressive. You seem to be a very capable individual. I'd like to help you with some preparatory learning. What do you say, Lady Topana? She replied. Preparatory learning? What do you mean? He says. The Academy has a rule where students call each other by name equally, regardless of status. This rule was created to learn knowledge without regard to one's rank. But unfortunately, many noble students struggle to adapt to it. Some even end up dropping out. So, let's practice getting used to this rule in advance. She surprised and said, Great. I'm confident I can do that. He speaks. Then let's pretend we're at the Academy. Call my name. Go on. Call my name. Go ahead. You know my name, don't you? She said. Of course I do. But Your Grace, how could I dare to speak your name so casually? We're not really at the Academy, he asked. Neris, there. Easy, isn't it? Don't be shy. Just say it comfortably. She rubbed her hands together and said, Ian. He speaks. Very good, Neris. Let's practice something different now. You know the Northern Academy frequently holds debate classes, don't you? They aim to broaden students' perspectives and respect for others. Some classes evaluate students entirely through debates instead of exams. So let's practice debating magic and mathematics, she replied. Yes, that sounds great. She began to think. It feels just like being in a real Academy class. He's certainly giving me a lot of attention as a guest. I'm so grateful. But something feels odd. She speaks aloud. But Your Grace. I mean, Ian, I have a question. Why are you being so good to me? I'm grateful for your help, especially with these extra lessons, but I heard from Jean that you returned due to an injury. I'm worried about you spending such precious time on me. I hope you're not straining yourself because of me, he replied. The reason I'm good to you is because I feel guilty. I didn't greet you on your first day in this unfamiliar place. As your fiancé. It's a grave offense I should never have committed, Neris said. It wasn't an offense at all. You were busy on the battlefield, Your Grace. He speaks. Even so, it wasn't an ideal situation for you. I apologize now, Neris. Truly, she replied. No, really. There's nothing to apologize for. It was just bad timing, and I didn't mind at all. Truly, I'm fine, so don't worry too much. He thinking. I'm sorry for not being honest, Neris. I met you through my own plans, learned your secret by chance, and stayed with you every night under the pretext of concern. I selfishly grew fond of you. The time spent with you became peaceful and precious memories for me. But it might also be a time that caused you great pain. Before returning to the battlefield, I will tell you everything. Even if you turn away from me then, I have no right to complain. But for now, let me stay like this. Neris, give me just a little more time, she said loudly. A pardon! I will grant you a pardon! Not that I'm royalty or a judge, of course, but you are hereby pardoned from your offense. To tell the truth, I've always been grateful to you, Ian. Coming to the north, I felt comfort for the first time in my life, and I loved the diverse experiences and people I encountered. And you are my benefactor. Thanks to your help, I have hope that I can achieve my dreams. Even if my benefactor committed a grave offense, I would forgive anything. So don't feel sorry or guilty anymore, Ian. After hearing everything, the Duke replies, Thank you so much, Neris. At Eastern Dalavis, the capital, Vish, Catherine speaks. I'm so tired. I shall prepare a bath immediately. She thinks. Crossing the border was a bit tricky, but we made it to Dalavis without any issues. Talking to Theo about the magic stone business was indeed the right call. With royal support not only financially, but also securing information and promises from Dalavis trade officials was seamless. Where else would I find such a great partner? From now on, my role is the most crucial. Then Catherine opened the book and began to think. Let's see. Besides the magic stone business, there was something else in Dalavis. Flipping through the pages, she said, We established trade with House de Fried. The Duke, who was at war, managed to advance both trade and the magic stone business, causing quite a stir in high society. Then she began to think, now I will be the one to make this a success. Theo said Dalavis trade officials are very strict. In a country skilled in diplomacy, it shouldn't be difficult. Thanks to my return, everything is going so smoothly. If I return to the north with successful business and trade, and wait for the Duke, Catherine, Lord de Fried, please return to the north soon. Catherine Topana, your future wife, is eagerly waiting for you. Having reviewed the information, the Duke asked, Catherine Topana has arrived in the capital of Dalavis? The Shadow replied, Yes, she is currently resting at the Crown Prince's residence. Duke said, just as expected. What's her purpose there? Shadow replied, We haven't discovered the details, but she has arranged a meeting with Marquis Maximilian Hento. Duke shocked and asked, With Marquis Hento? Shadow replied, Yes. Upon checking, the staff at Marquis Hento's residence are busy preparing to receive a guest. The meeting is said to be scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. It might take a while, but should we attempt to infiltrate the Marquis residence? Duke thinks Marquis Hento harbors resentment and distrust toward Gideon due to past events, and he forms no ties with anyone but our house. What does she plan to do with such a Marquis? Duke firmly replied, No. The relationship with the Marquis, established by our ancestors, must not be broken. Withdraw all shadows from Marquis Hento and focus them on Catherine Topana. Shadow says, Yes, Your Grace. Duke speaks, and once all her engagements are finished, make sure to delay her return here as much as possible. Ensure she returns very late. Shadow said, As you command, Your Grace. Duke replied, Now I can focus on studying magical theory books for a while. The next morning, Neris laughed softly as she ate her breakfast. Jean said, You seem in good spirits today, my lady. Neris, Jean says, You've been smiling non-stop. Neris replied, That's because everything seems to be going well lately. This morning, when I went to the dining hall, my parents told me to focus on my studies for the academy entrance. They even said I didn't have to join them for meals if I'm busy, and the Duke praised my dedication, saying my effort in preparing a thesis is remarkable. It's the first time my hard work has been recognized. She thinks, He is as remarkable as I expected. Acknowledged me shortly after we met, and even helped me with my studies. But he felt strangely familiar, although I'm certain we've never met before. Why do I feel this way? After listening to everything, Jean asked while serving the tea, My lady, are you curious about social etiquette in the north? While picking up the tea, Neris replied, Is the North's etiquette different from the capital's? Jean replied, Of course. The north is quite distant from the capital. That is why the culture is a bit different. If you'd like, I can ask the butler to arrange a tutor. Hearing this, Neris was lost in thought. It'll be helpful when you enroll in Carlisle. Jean thinks, His Grace intends to make Lady Neris his wife. I'm certain of it. Otherwise, why would he give her the chambers connected to his, meant for the Duchess? At this rate, she'll be the lady of House de Fried in no time. However, her grace and etiquette as a noble lady are somewhat lacking compared to Lady Catherine. But judging by how she always adheres to basic protocols, she definitely has potential. Why is there a difference with Lady Catherine? Neris asked. Jean, could you take a look? This tea is a specialty of the Kingdom of Dalavis. I often enjoy it for its rich floral aroma. Thank you for serving such an exquisite brew. Jean surprised and said, My goodness, it's as if you've mastered the art of tea ceremony, my lady, she replied. Thank you then, she said. I've never formally learned social etiquette, but I read all the etiquette books at home and practiced by myself. I even memorized dances to famous compositions, so I know basic manners as well as royal protocol. Jean asked, You taught yourself? All of it? She replied. Yes, I learned a bit at home when I was very young, but when circumstances changed, my parents stopped all basic education. My mother said, "What if the tutors see you wandering the halls, possessed by spirits?" Asterisk. Get in your room. I don't want to see you, she said. Though I practiced hard on my own, it all became pointless. Jean, why? Jean speaks. If I showed any noble behavior, my sister would torment me. She'd nitpick all day, so I pretended not to know anything. While hearing this, Jean thinks, what kind of person does that? She says, she really is troublesome. Neris added, I still think my conversation skills are lacking, and I have bad memories of horseback riding, so I never dared to learn. Someday I want to learn to ride. I've often thought about making friends too. Jean speaks. You can do it now, my lady, Neris asked. Oh. How? Jean replied. Just ask the Duke. I'm sure he'll gladly agree. I'll go and tell him right away, Neris said. Ah, no. That's a bit. Jean asked. Why? Are you uncomfortable? She replies. Oh no. It's not that. I just wouldn't want to impose. I've already relied on him so much. Besides, he just returned from the war. He must be tired. Jean speaks loudly. Don't worry about that at all. I assure you, the Duke wouldn't mind helping you. Not at all. Our master is, well, that's it. He really enjoys teaching people. Neris, really? This she says. He said he feels fulfilled seeing someone grow through learning. He finds it rewarding, so try learning from him. I'm sure he'll be delighted. Then in the horse stables, Neris thinks, this isn't right. It was just a foolish fantasy, thinking I could ride that huge creature. I absolutely cannot. I should go back and tell the Duke I want to learn something else. Suddenly, the Duke appeared and called Neris. Fear gripped her. Duke said, Oh, I'm sorry. Did I startle you? She replies, No, it's fine. I'm sorry for yelling. Duke asked, You don't seem fine at all. Are you afraid of horses? She thinks, Yes, I am. Ever since I almost got kicked by one because of my sister when I was young, it's been difficult for me to even approach horses. That's why I never dared to learn to ride. Each time, my sister would say, What a waste of that noble blood in your veins. You should have been born a commoner. I should give up. Horseback riding is too much for me. Duke asked. I was afraid too. I fell off a horse while learning to ride as a child, so for a while, I couldn't go near them. My parents struggled quite a bit to teach me after that, she replied. Me too. I've had a similar experience. Now I freeze up just standing in front of a horse. I felt so upset and regretful, and even now, I still feel the same. Duke speaks. Shall I tell you the method I used? It's not that difficult, so let's try it together. I'll help you overcome your fear. Meanwhile, in the eastern region of Dalavis, Catherine said, Hello, Marquis Hento. It's a pleasure to meet you. Marquis Hento replied, You must be the young lady the Crown Prince of Gideon insisted I meet. I detest wasting time, so let's get straight to the point, Lady Topana. The Crown Prince mentioned, You have devised some remarkable venture. What is it? Catherine said. It is a magic stone venture, my lord. By utilizing our kingdom's abundant ores, we can create something novel and precious. I propose to embark on this great endeavor with you, Marquis Hento. Naturally, it includes trade between our two kingdoms. What do you say, my lord? Will you join me in making this project a success? He replied. How utterly amusing. In her mind, Catherine said, the kingdom of Gideon, which occupies half of the vast Therese continent, and a nation simply called the Western Kingdom, were at war. Their conflict had been raging for a full year. Initially thought to end swiftly, the war defied all expectations. Dragging on each day, it eventually left both kingdoms' finances increasingly impoverished. As the stagnant war continued, a major trade agreement was established with Dalavis, mediated by Duke de Fried. Thanks to the resulting trade with Dalavis, goods previously seen only in the distant eastern continent were imported en masse, gradually stabilizing the finances of the Gideon kingdom. As the conflict neared its end, House de Fried discovered a large vein of magic stone in their territory, and devised a novel business venture, the magic stone business. They fused magic stones with various minerals to create exquisite luxury accessories. This was enough to captivate every noble in the kingdom, leading to significant amounts of noble wealth being poured into House de Fried's coffers. Because of Duke de Fried, high society was abuzz, and no one could disregard the North any longer. Such perfect and brilliant achievements are amusing? Is he in his right mind? Surely the Duke conducted all these affairs with Marquis Hento in my previous life. Why is he reacting this way? Catherine smiled, then asked, Marquis Hento, What exactly do you find amusing? Marquis Hento replied. Why, it's the presumption that our Dalavis kingdom would readily agree to trade with Gideon. What else? Perhaps your ladyship has not properly learned the history between our two nations, Catherine said. I am, in fact, quite knowledgeable on the matter, he says. In the past, the Gideon kingdom and other nations abruptly cancelled all treaties with Dalavis. Due to this, the Dalavis kingdom faced a national financial crisis and had to focus all efforts on trade with the distant eastern continent, Catherine replied. Indeed, and at the same time, our kingdom ceased all diplomacy with other nations on the Therese continent. Marquis Hento speaks. Of course, we maintain minor trade with House de Fried, but that's as far as it goes. We have no intention of establishing trade with the Gideon kingdom, so you may leave now. Catherine thinks, how can he be so rude? Not knowing what lies ahead, he accepted the Duke's proposal so easily in my past life, yet acts arrogantly towards me? I must make this succeed. She gently pinched her finger, and right on cue, Emma arrived with the document in hand. She began to think, once he sees this, he won't dare act so insolently. Emma placed the document in front of them. Catherine said, this is the proposal for the Magic Stone venture. I deeply apologize to the Dalavis kingdom for the great harm caused by my kingdom's mistakes. However, Marquis Hento, those incidents are all in the past. Shouldn't we seize this great opportunity, rather than dwell on bygone issues? For the sake of harmony and progress between our nations, please consider this proposal. Then he took her proposal and replied, very well, I shall review it. Considering your ladyship's sincerity and Crown Prince Theophilus's words, I shall discuss it with my retainers as quickly as possible. Catherine smiled and asked, very well, my lord, I eagerly await your response. Meanwhile, in the stables, Neris said, wow, the foal is so small and adorable. Duke speaks, both the mother and the foal are gentle, making them perfect for practice. Let's start by observing them from a distance, to overcome your fear. Neris says, oh yes, that sounds good. After seeing it she thinks, it feels so different from what I saw in the animal encyclopedia. Truly, fascinating. The foal suddenly came closer. She blinked in surprise and asked, oh, it's coming this way. Duke replied, the young ones are very curious. Perhaps it's because it's the first time seeing you. Would you like to try touching it? She asked. What? The foal? Perhaps that's not, Duke says. It's fine if you approach cautiously. I'll guide you, so don't worry. She thinks, right. It's a young one with a gentle nature, and the Duke is beside me. She asked. Okay, what should I do? He replied. Don't make loud noises, and slowly extend your hand like this. Then just stay still. She replied. All right, I'll try. Then, from a slight distance, she extended her hand cautiously. I can't get any closer. It's still too scary. He stepped closer and reached for her hand, his voice gentle as he said, excuse me for a moment. Try not to be too nervous. Reach out slowly, very slowly. After touching it, she said, I touched it. I'm touching the foal, Ian, Duke replied. Well done, Neris. After a few days, Neris was feeding the horses while saying, go on, have some. While Horse was eating, she said, haha, adorable. Always so lovely to see. Suddenly, the Duke appeared and stood behind her. He asked, seems you've grown quite close to the foal? She replied, yes. Such a gentle creature. I've visited every day for the past 3 days, and it's welcomed me each time. Usually, foals are quite rambunctious, Duke said. It's because it likes you. She asked, how do you know that, Ian? He replied, because I like you too, so I can tell. Hearing this, she thought, oh, I suppose since Ian has grown fond of horses, he's learned to read them. If the boy who once feared these creatures changed so much, maybe I too can grow to love them and even learn to ride? After all, I found the foal absolutely adorable. Maybe not just yet. The Duke walked over to the horse and spoke. Neris, I have someone I'd like to introduce to you. Neris see and said, wow, what a magnificent horse. Duke speaks. This is Noxie, my horse's sibling, a strong and courageous creature. I thought you might like it. What do you think? He extended his hand toward it and said, hello, Noxie. Looks like Noxie doesn't mind me. Duke says, shall we try riding? Neris said, pardon? He speaks. Try riding, Noxie, Neris. I'll assist you. Relax your shoulders a bit. Keep your back straight. Make sure your weight doesn't shift forward. Try to maintain this posture, all right? She replied. Yes, he says. I'll guide the horse. You just hold the reins lightly. She speaks. Wait, don't go too fast. I'm still a bit scared, he replied. Then let's start very slowly. The horse slowly started to walk. She looked around the view and thinks, Wow! So this is what the view looks like from horseback. It feels quite different, he asked. Are you scared? She replied. No, not scared. Just a little uncomfortable, he told. Then let's chat as we go. We've actually tried to establish a magical studies department in Carlisle several times. She asked. Really? He replied. Yes. But professors from the capital's magic academy are reluctant to come to the north. It's a field with endless potential. The north should really have its own magic studies department. But no matter how good the offer, they always decline. So I always feel a sense of regret when I think of Carlisle. She asked. Ian, does a magic studies professor have to be from the capital's academy? He asked. What? She replied. I understand House Dayfried trades with the Kingdom of Dalavis. The kingdom is known for its tea leaves, but they also heavily invest in magical studies at the Royal Academy. Instead of inviting renowned magic professors from there, why not offer them northern professors in fields they lack? The Northern Academy is famous for mathematics and physics. We can complement each other's deficiencies and facilitate exchange. Hearing this, he replied, You are truly remarkable. I believe you could become the North's greatest asset. She asked. Me? He replied. Yes. None of the Northern officials ever thought of such an idea. It might be a bit tricky, but with the Kingdom of Dalavis, it's worth trying. Don't worry about how you're going to fund your studies. I promise unwavering support for your proven talent. She says. Thank you so much, Ian. I'll work really hard. Oh, I'll help with the academy connections too. Even if the start is tough, the North has ties with Dalavis, and together, we can make it work. Hearing this, he touched his forehead to hers and said, Like this, you've solved a major problem for me. Thank you so much, Neris. Thank you. Meanwhile, in Dalavis, Catherine hurled a pillow toward Emma and shouted, Ah! How frustrating. It's been 3 days. Why hasn't he signed the contract? Emma replied fearfully. Marquis Hento is still reviewing it quite thoroughly, my lady. He said he needs a bit more time. She asked loudly. How much more time does he need? I must return to the north by tomorrow no matter what. That foolish old man. Someone opened the door, stepped into the room, and said, Excuse me, Lady Catherine. News just arrived from Gideon. She was shocked and asked, What is it? He replied. Dalavis' daily paper featured an article about Lord Dayfried. It says he returned to the north on medical leave a few days ago. Hearing this, she asked, What? Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, as it really helps our channel grow. Thanks. The next day, Marquis Hento's assistant came and said, It is reported that Lady Catherine Tapana left the city this morning. Marquis Hento speaks. At last, I won't have to deal with those bothersome letters. He says, We will track her until she crosses the border, my lord. Marquis Hento replied, That won't be necessary. Just observe the Crown Prince's reaction. I can't figure out what those sly Gideon folks are up to. He added, Lady Catherine Tapana is a famous figure in the kingdom of Gideon. Currently, she is residing in the north after accepting a proposal from Duke Dayfried. She is said to have never been involved in business. After hearing that, Marquis Hento thinks, Yet this lady came to me with a flawless proposal and trade agreement, backed by the Crown Prince himself. Any other businessman would have accepted the offer. He remembered the moment Catherine had said it. However, Marquis Hento, those incidents are all in the past. Shouldn't we seize this great opportunity rather than dwell on bygone issues? Marquis Hento slammed his hand hard on the table and said, What an arrogant woman! Then he began to think. To speak like that without considering how much our country has suffered. Moreover, there are too many unclear aspects. Why wouldn't such an ambitious woman have introduced herself as the fiancé of Duke Dayfried? She received support from the Crown Prince and inundated me with persuasive letters. Yet, she didn't mention the Duke even once. Does His Grace know about this? Regardless, whether he knows or not, the young Duke who inherited his duchy at an early age is certainly dealing with a headache. There is no point pondering the matter alone. Then he opened his drawer and speaks. I have no choice, while writing letter and said, I must ask directly. At the same time, close to Duke Mansion, Neris was horseback riding and spoke. Wow, I did it, Ian. I rode Noxie by myself. While seeing this, Duke replied, Yes, truly impressive. Now let's go somewhere a bit farther. Then she asked, Farther? Where to? He replied, There's a daffodil field a little way up from here. The north experiences the seasons earlier than other regions. They should be in full bloom around this time. If we go now, we'll get to enjoy a nice spring view. Hearing this, she was shocked and asked, Shall we? Yes. I'd love that. Suddenly, lightning flashed with a loud crack. Norman was busy working after seeing the lightning. He speaks. Oh, look at that downpour. It was so clear this morning. I'd better tell the maids to. Suddenly, Jean came running and asked loudly, Uncle, where is Xanta? Norman replied, Xanta is out on the Duke's orders. Have I not told you to refrain from calling me uncle while we're on duty? How many times must I say it? Jean says loudly, Uncle. This isn't the time to quibble over that. His Grace and her ladyship didn't take anything to shield themselves from the rain. What if they get drenched and catch a cold? He said. We needn't worry about that. His Grace can just use magic, Jean said. Ah, but with Lady Neris, he has to hide his magic, he replied. Exactly. He needs to hide the fact that he's a mage. He won't be able to use a transportation circle. Jean speaks. He mentioned going to the daffodil field today, he said. Then there's a cabin that was once used by his predecessors that way. The Duke is probably headed there to take shelter from the rain. A magical artifact is installed there to send a signal once they arrive. So let's wait patiently until then, she replied. Yes, uncle. In the pouring rain, Duke and Neris arrived at the cabin. They stepped inside, and the Duke lit a fire to warm the place. She came quickly and said, Ian! Quickly use this to dry yourself, he replied. You use it first, Neris, she said, but you're more soaked than I am. I'm fine. She placed a blanket on the Duke's head and said, You can't be fine when you're this wet. You only got drenched because you lent me your coat. Look, your lips are turning blue. You'll catch a cold, she thinks. Oh no, he can't catch a cold while he's on respite from the front. Maybe riding was a bad idea. The Duke held her face and said, You need to dry off too. I should have checked the weather properly. It'll warm up soon. So stay by the fireplace until then. Then Neris turned and said, Oh, wouldn't it be better to get changed? You really will get sick if you stay like that. He speaks. Oh. Then excuse me for a moment. The fire was crackling loudly. Both of them got up and sat near it. Hearing the soft patter of rain outside, Neris began to think. The rain keeps falling. Thankfully, we've dried off and warmed up. But is it all right for Ian to stay here? He looked so pale after getting caught in the rain. I hope he'll be okay. They were gradually drawing closer to one another. She looked toward the Duke and said, Lie down and rest if you're tired, Ian. I'll be nearby. The Duke closed his eyes, rested his head against Neris's, and said, I'm fine. Stay here, she asked. But aren't you uncomfortable like this? He replied. Having nothing beside me is more uncomfortable. That's why I haven't been sleeping lately. Then she began to ask, Why? Did you have something near you that disappeared? Duke replied again. A teddy bear. The teddy bear I used to sleep with is gone. My most cherished teddy bear. The dark clouds roared again as heavy rain poured down. Neris leaned against the Duke, placed her hand gently on his forehead, and said, Thankfully, it doesn't seem like he's caught a cold. That's a relief. Then she thinks, What was that about the teddy bear earlier? Did a childhood memory slip out while he was half asleep? Ian as a child? She smiled and says, Must have been so adorable. I almost wish we could have met as children. We would have had so much fun. Thanks to Ian, I've been so joyful lately. She nodded her head and said, Someday, I want to repay his kindness. She closed her eyes and then began to think, Where am I? Is this a dream? That child? Is that young Ian? I knew it. He's just as adorable as I imagined. Oh, wait. What is happening? No. Run, Ian, run. I have to save him. I can't move. Please. Let him go, she shouting loudly. Ian! Neris looked up at the sky, then he placed his hand on Neris's shoulder and said, Don't worry, Neris. I'm all right. You don't need to worry. I'm perfectly fine. I'm glad you're safe. But I wish I could have saved you when you were young. Next time, I want to protect you. Neris got up, blinked her eyes, and started thinking. Has the rain stopped? Oh, the fireplace has gone out. I need Uncle to rekindle it. She got up and lay down beside the Duke. When did this happen? Did I sleep like this all night? The Duke pulled Neris close into his arms tightly. Neris blushed and then got lost in her thoughts. Ah. He's pulling me closer. Just calm down. Pretend you're learning horseback riding. This is no different from the posture Ian taught me. Duke sleepily murmuring. Neris panicking internally. What should I do? Meanwhile, Catherine sat in the carriage, lost in thought. Things were fine during the discussion with Marquis Hento. But everything has been a mess since then. I had to return to the north quickly. But no one would let me rent a carriage. And when I finally managed to source one and reach the town's transportation circle, They said all routes to the north are under maintenance and unusable. Why do things keep going wrong? I need to go to the Duke quickly. A person was quietly watching her from behind the tree. Catherine thinks again. The longer I'm away, Neris might. As Catherine stepped down from the carriage, suddenly Emma appeared and said, "There's a problem, Lady Catherine." Catherine shouted loudly and asked, "What is it this time?" Emma replied respectfully, "Well, the horses are too exhausted to continue, so we need to rest here for today." Catherine, furious, asked again, "What do you expect me to do about it?" "Useless." She gave Emma a hard slap, pushed her forcefully, and she fell to the ground. Then she speaks loudly, "Rent another carriage immediately. Or at least get some horses. If we're delayed any longer, I'll leave you naked by the roadside. Now go!" In the study room of the Duke's mansion, the Duke extended a book and asked, "What do you think of this, Lady Neris? You might enjoy this novel. It's quite realistic. Would you like to read it together?" Neris replied. "Oh, please don't call me that," Duke asked. "But you called me, Your Grace, during breakfast earlier, didn't you?" She replies, "My parents were there, and I didn't want to cause any trouble." Duke speaks, "The Count and Countess Topana already know we're doing prep work for the academy, so feel free to call me by my name, regardless of where we are," she said while holding the book. "I'm sorry, but I can't do that. When I think of our future, I believe I need to show you proper respect." He asked, "What future is that?" She steps forward and replies, "I wish to graduate early from the academy, and if possible, become an official in the north. I want to repay the kindness you've shown me, just like you've supported and encouraged my dreams." She placed her hand on Neris's shoulder and said, "You want to protect me, don't you?" She turned around and says, "That's," he speaks gently, "although I'm truly grateful, I would still love for you to keep calling me by my name." Upon hearing this, she fell into deep thought. "It's strange. Why does my heart race every time I see him? I want to grant him whatever he wishes for, whatever it may be." Then she took her hand on his face while she sang, "Ian, Ian." As soon as she got close to him, Mother suddenly appeared and asked, "What are you doing, Neris? What on earth is happening here? Explain yourself immediately. Why are you silent?" I said, "Explain. What were you doing so close to the Duke?" Neris replies, "We were discussing something." "The Duke was helping me with academy studies," Mother asked. "You expect me to believe that?" Duke replied. "Lady Neris has a remarkable ability to learn. I find assisting her quite rewarding." Neris blushes and says, "No, it's all because His Grace teaches so well," the Duke said with a smile. "You flatter me, my lady?" Neris asked. "So, Mother, what brings you here?" Mother replied, "Today is your sister's birthday. We received a letter this morning saying Catherine will soon arrive at the Duke's estate. Even though she won't make it today, we should still celebrate the occasion as a family. We will hold a dinner in her honor," Neris said. "Oh yes, let's do that," Mother asked. "Would you join us, Your Grace?" Duke replied. "Unfortunately, I have estate matters to attend to this evening, so I'm afraid I'll have to miss it." "My apologies, my lady," she speaks. "Oh, if you're busy, you should attend to your duties now." "I'll be fine," he says. "It's all right, I have a moment to spare," she said, pushing the Duke. "Then please go and rest. You shouldn't overexert yourself," Duke says. "But," she speaks calmly, "you exhausted yourself the other day because of me." "I'm fine, so please take a proper rest. You've only just recovered. Pushing yourself now could have dire consequences." The Duke turned back and said, "All right, my lady, forgive me, but I must take my leave." Mother added, "By all means, rest well, Your Grace." He walked away. Neris asked, "Mother, do you have any other matters to discuss? If not, I'll be on my way." The mother, gripping Neris's hand, angrily asked, "Did you not promise to break off the engagement? Yet I see you getting close to the Duke. What do you think you're doing? What about your sister? Have you no consideration for her at all? Imagine how hurt Catherine would be if she knew." "Stop being selfish and grow up," Neris replied calmly. "Mother, my intentions haven't changed at all. But I don't understand why I should worry about a sister who's busy traipsing around visiting friends. If she wanted to keep her place as the Duke's fiancé, she shouldn't have left. Isn't that right?" Mother, hesitating, and said, "Well, that's..." Then Mother, lost in thoughts. "Right. Neris doesn't know Catherine left for business. She asked to keep it a secret from the Duke and Neris until the deal was confirmed. I can't reveal it now," Neris says aloud. "When Catherine returns, please discuss the engagement matter with her. My annulment doesn't come until after that." A shadow Xanta appeared in the Duke's room and said, "Catherine Topana is currently resting in Ruel. and she is expected to arrive by tomorrow morning. I will try to delay her return by causing another carriage breakdown. Duke says, no, don't do that. We've already obstructed her carriage rentals, and used excuses of maintenance on the transportation circle. Further interference might raise suspicion. We shouldn't cause more trouble for the innocent coachman. You should return now. You've done well. Santa speaks. Understood, Your Grace. May you have a peaceful night. He left, then Duke picked up the letter and started to think. So Catherine Tophana is pursuing trade and a new magic stone business in Dalavis. Something about this whole thing feels odd. Her involvement in business, of which she knows nothing, and the Crown Prince supporting her, all seems suspicious. The Emperor has never favored the Crown Prince much, but now I understand his overreaction. Even Marquis Hento wrote to tell me he couldn't grasp her intentions. Then he leaned back, draped in his royal shawl, and said, also, I'm surprised the Marquis is so favorable to me. Perhaps I could truly establish a close connection with him, just as Neris suggested. Suddenly Neris came and asked, have you been waiting long, Ian? He replied, no, I just arrived. Thank you so much for coming. She asked again, why did you ask me to meet you here? Duke replied, pointing with his finger. You'll understand once you look over there. Suddenly, the fireworks started. She spoke happily. Wow! It's magnificent. Is that a firework display? He said. Yes, it is. A gift just for you. She asked. A gift for me? He replied. You overcame your fear of horses. I'm proud of you. She says. It's all thanks to you. Duke steps forward, gives him a hug, and asks, you once gave me a pardon, remember? So I wish to offer you something in return. Use me in any way you need, whenever you desire. Use me as many times as you like. Will you accept this gift? Hearing this, she lost in thoughts. I swore never to desire or covet, because it was never mine to begin with, and my dreams were more important. But you are so kind. Your acceptance makes me want more. Is it all right to act on this desire? Then she replied, yes, I'll accept. Thank you, Ian. At the Ruel, a major city in the north, Catherine asked, Emma, are you certain we can reach the Duke's castle by today? Emma replied, yes, my lady. If we leave right after breakfast, we'll arrive by lunchtime. Catherine speaks, good. Then redo my hair now. While having breakfast, she thinks, the journey was tiring, but I feel more at ease now that we're close. In retrospect, I was too hasty. I could have very well gone after I became the Duke's official fiancé. Had I done that, Marquis Hento would have accepted the business proposal immediately. Wait, he did say he would review it. He never refused outright. So I can return as Lord Defried's fiancé when I'm ready. But I am a bit concerned about Neris. Ha! What could that simpleton possibly do? At most, she probably spent 10 days in silence, or prattled on about her academy studies. Besides, my beloved parents are at the castle now. Surely they handled her. It's all right. I can make up for this. I just need to focus on making a good impression on the Duke. Emma brushes her hair, and she looks at herself in the mirror. As soon as she steps outside, Neris, who was approaching on a horse, speaks. Welcome back, sister. I heard you'd be returning today. I thought I'd come out to greet you, even after 10 days of travel. I see you're as beautiful as ever. Catherine asked. How are you, riding? Neris replied. I had some lessons from Duke Ian de Fried. Catherine came running into the castle and said, I specifically asked you to handle Neris, but you let her go out there and get horse riding lessons from the Duke? Mother asked. What have you been doing? Catherine added. Furthermore, you never convinced the Duke of anything, not breaking off the engagement, not agreeing to a new one. Nothing. Things have only gotten worse. How do you propose we resolve this now? Father asked while picking up the cup from the table. Catherine, are you afraid Neris will steal the Duke from you? You, who made even the proud nobles of the capital's high society chase after you. Are you truly worried about losing the Duke to someone like your sister? Even I swallowed my pride to ask the Duke to rewrite the engagement. But what can be done? He says it's difficult due to the war. Then her father stood, saying, I've done all I can, so we shall return home now. I trust you will handle the rest yourself. Father walked away. Then she asked, Mother, what's gotten into Father? Did something happen? Mother added, Well, we spoke with Lord de Fried earlier this morning. The Duke gave us a substantial amount of gold as funds to support your father's business. He said he hoped your father's venture succeeds. It was a gesture of encouragement. Mother shouted loudly. Catherine, I truly tried to stop it, persuading your father, but he dismissed my concerns, saying it's unwise to upset Duke de Fried. I even told Neris not to covet your fiancé, but that wicked girl completely ignored me. That ungrateful wretch. How miserably I've failed in raising my daughter. Hearing all this, she lost in thoughts. A father who values money more than his children. A mother who is forever woeful. How foolish I was to entrust such important matters to these people. I must set things right. I must fix everything and reclaim what is rightfully mine. As soon as the Neris came in, Catherine said, "Come in, Neris. I was worried you might not come. But here you are. I'm truly delighted. I've prepared plenty of your favorite snacks. Come, let's eat together." She thinks, "What is this? Why is she suddenly being kind? I thought she called me to put me down." Right after she returned. Was I wrong? She took the nearest to Duke and said, "Lord Dayfried, I'm sorry for making you wait. You took time out of your busy day to be here, and I left you all alone. Please be understanding. My sister is sometimes likes this." Then she lost in thoughts. "Oh, I'm not the target here. Then why was I summoned? If she's after Ian, there's no reason to invite me." Catherine says, "Now that we're all here, I have something to ask your grace. Tell us, what makes your ideal woman?" he asked. "My ideal woman," Catherine said. "Yes, I've been so curious about it. So I thought I'd take this chance to ask. Do you find it difficult to answer?" He speaks. "It's a long list. Do you mind if I say it all?" Catherine added. "Of course. That makes me even more curious. Please speak freely," Duke says slowly. "First of all, someone who kisses me first, without giving me a chance to avoid it, and someone who feels most comfortable in my arms. Those qualities would make my ideal woman." Neris thinks, "In his arms." Come to think of it, Catherine mentioned something similar before. The Neris remembered what Catherine had said. "You can't be coy when dating. You have to be proactive. Even with a kiss," Neris said in her mind. "At first, I thought it was nonsense. I never thought Ian would say the same thing." Catherine speaks playfully. "Oh my, your Grace's ideal woman is quite assertive. Are there any other qualities besides that?" He added, "Well, besides that, I would like her to say she loves me, and I hope she would cherish the North with me, and try to protect me." Catherine, flustered, asked, "What? Protect you, your Grace?" He replies, "Yes. Once isn't enough, twice would be nice." Catherine asked again, I wonder if such a strong woman exists?" The Nearest thought as she sipped her tea. Both Ian and Catherine have such specific ideals, an ideal type. I don't remember clearly now, but I remember feeling thrilled when a book on magical theory came to life. For some reason, he reminded me of Ian. He said calmly, "Such a woman does exist. She's not too far away. In fact, she's very close, practically by my side." Later in the library, as she stood near the drag-out book, she began to think. "What was that this morning? I thought Father was going to drag me home. Instead, he said, 'Work hard and pursue your dreams,' Neris encouraged me for the first time." Then she mumbled, "What brought that on? He's never done that before. Did something happen that I don't know about?" Catherine came closer and asked, "Are you mumbling to yourself again? You really are something. How can you be so cold? You ran off alone as soon as Father and Mother left. What kind of attitude is that to a sibling who's back from a long trip?" Neris asked. "What do you want?" Catherine replied. "Take a look at this." She hands over a document, and she reads it. Then Catherine said, "It's a business plan for accessories using magic stones. I'm planning to launch it soon, and I want your opinion, as someone studying magic." Neris' surprise began to think. Did Catherine come up with this? Combining magic stones with other minerals to create new gems. Not only that, but infusing each mineral with various spells, and selling them as accessories. It's almost exactly the idea I've had in my head. I've often envisioned combining magic with other technologies during my studies, so I wasn't the only one with the idea. "But since when has Catherine had such an interest in magic?" Catherine asked. "What do you think of the business?" Neris replied, "Oh, I mean, with the help of someone skilled in magic, it could become a remarkable venture." Catherine speaks. "Right, I thought of it all by myself. I've been constantly thinking about how to assist the Duke. Without him, I would never have conceived such a grand business. In fact, this entire trip was for the sake of this venture, and starting the business in Dalavis taught me a hard lesson, that there's a clear difference between the perfect Duchess and a capable talent. I heard you received the Duke's patronage for your academy studies, but you know that's because he wants to nurture competent talents, right? Teaching you riding was just to train you to be more skilled. It doesn't mean anything beyond that. Look at what the Duke said about his ideal woman yesterday. It appears he prefers a lady who knows how to initiate a kiss. His Grace seems to have quite an open mind. Unlike you, who's always so rigid. Do you understand? So from now on, with the Duke, the Neris interrupted and asked. Catherine, are you jealous? Catherine shocked and asked. What did you just say? How am I jealous? Neris replied. As you said, I might not be the Duke's ideal woman, but while you were away, I received private tutoring for my academy studies from the Duke, as well as writing lessons. Thanks to that, I've changed. Quite a lot, in fact. I'm truly grateful. She began to think. The old me would have been trembling, but thanks to Ian accepting my true self, supporting my dreams, and doing all he could to help me, I was able to change. Now, I'll never be intimidated or afraid of anything, ever. As the Neris walked past Catherine, she said, Let's chat like this more often. Perhaps next time. We'll do it over tea. Catherine clenched the report. Later that evening, Crown Prince Theophilus went to his father and said, I apologize for visiting so late, father. I heard you didn't attend the council meeting today, so I was worried you might be unwell. Emperor asked, You didn't come to assassinate me? He smiled and asked, How could I harm my father? I have never once thought of such a thing. Emperor lost in thoughts. Such a brazen child. A year ago, he started a war with the Western Kingdom, claiming they were unforgivable, forcing us into conflict. While playing the role of strategist, he sent his brothers to war, where most of them died. The way he looks just like the queen makes me uneasy. Truly, this one only has treason in his heart. He must be eliminated quickly. Then Emperor asked, So, what is the meaning of your visit? Surely you didn't come out of concern for me? Prince Theophilus replied, I intend to propose a truce to the Western Kingdom. The Emperor burst into laughter. Ha! Then he asked, A truce? You, who ignored opposition and started a war, speak of a truce? Aren't you ashamed, before the ghosts of your brothers? Prince Theophilus smirks and replies, I am ashamed. That's why I'm trying to set things right now. Emperor speaks. Then set out immediately. Lead the war to victory for your fallen brothers and my vassals. Do so, and I will pass the crown to you immediately. Hearing this, he fell silent. Then, as he turned to leave, he said, Regardless of what you say, father, we will establish a truce with the Western Kingdom. So stop resisting and abdicate in my favor. As for setting out, I'll consider it, if the agreement fails. May you enjoy good health as ever, father. Later on, the Duke communicated with Hartman through Magic Globe. Duke asked, Is the Crown Prince really planning to push for a truce? Hartman replies, Yes. He's applying serious pressure in the central meeting. But I don't know what that bastard is scheming, Duke said, so that's why His Majesty contacted me. Hartman asked, His Majesty contacted you? Duke replies, Yes. He sent an urgent message this evening. Nothing new, just that the Crown Prince's actions are unusual. So His Majesty requested that I keep Catherine Topana securely in my castle. He was very adamant. Upon hearing this, Hartman took his hand on head and said, He really likes to work you hard. What has that woman done to be detained in your castle? Duke replied. Alongside the Crown Prince, she approached Marquis Hento of Dalavis for a major trade deal with the Western Kingdom, a groundbreaking venture. Hartman asked, Has he sold his conscience? Or his mind? There's no way Marquis Hento would agree easily. He hates our kingdom, Duke replied. They must have had some assurance. So, do you think there will be a truce? Hartman speaks. It could go either way. Thanks to you, we won the last battle. There are many who want to push for a complete victory, but declaring peace or a truce isn't easy. The dark magic of the Western Kingdom is still a hurdle. Currently, they're wary of us. If they unleash something bizarre again, the next battle could go either way. They possess deeper magical knowledge than we do, Duke says. We need to gather more information. Hartman speaks. I'll look into it further. Oh, and your leave's been extended? Duke asked. Extended? Hartman replied. Yes. Even the commanders supported the idea at today's meeting. They probably want the glory for themselves this time. You turned the tide in the last battle. Well, since it's come to this, maybe sit back and watch how things unfold. What do you think? Duke speaks. If the capable vice commander says so, then that's what I'll do, Hartman says. All right then. Enjoy your time with your fiancé, Your Grace. After that, Duke said to himself, An extended leave. I can spend more time with Neris for now. But no sign of her again. She hasn't visited at night since I returned. I thought her sleepwalking might have been due to Catherine Topana. But if she's not coming to my room now that Catherine is back, that must not be it. I must be quite pathetic, using talk of my ideal woman as an excuse to speak to Neris about the nights. Anyway, It's clear she doesn't even remember, and here I am, regretting that her condition is cured. Congratulations on overcoming your sleepwalking, Neris. May you always have peaceful nights. A little while later, when the Duke entered Catherine's room, she said, Welcome, Your Grace. Thank you for visiting despite your busy schedule. I've prepared special tea and desserts for your safe return. I'm sure you'll love them. Duke noticing and began to think. 2 teacups. Then he asked, When will your sister arrive? She added, Well, Neris seemed too busy, so I didn't invite her. I was hoping we could spend some time alone together this time. Would that be all right? Hearing this, he lost in thoughts. I've been caught off guard. What's her plan this time? Considering her past actions, she's no ordinary woman. When the 3 of us spoke in the greenhouse, she skillfully guided the conversation, gauging the relationship between Neris and me. I expected she'd do something next. Should I just leave? She said. I heard you spent a lot of time alone with Neris while I was away. Could you spare some time for me as well? Even if it's just for a moment? He thinks. Given His Majesty's orders, I suppose I have no choice. Then he said, I don't have the leisure for tea right now. So if there's something you wish to say it now. Catherine says, I apologize for greeting you so late. On the day you returned, I had to leave for the kingdom of Dalavis. The truth is, I went there to propose a business deal to Marquis Hento, a magic stone venture. It's a proposal I've been working on for quite a while. To be honest, it was for you, Your Grace, as your fiancé. I wanted to contribute to the North. If you'd allow me to explain the business, it's essential. He interrupted and said, Lady Topana, I'm afraid I cannot regard you as my fiancé, so there's no need to make such efforts for me. She asked. Why? I am your fiancé, agreed on by our families. Isn't it quite simple to treat me as such? He replied. When I spoke with Count Topana before, he seemed indifferent to who it would be. She says, My father would never do that. If he did, it would mean you and Neris. He speaks calmly, as expected from a high society figure. You're quite perceptive. I take it you already know where my heart lies? She thinks. How could I not? Of course I noticed the way you kept looking at her. Anyone could tell from your tender gaze. But still, it's just a fleeting interest. I won't be swayed by such feelings. Then she asked. From what I've heard, my father said you never expressed a desire to marry Neris immediately. I simply thought you were still considering. Am I wrong? He said. That is, she thinks again. See? Still hesitating. That means I still have a chance. Then she speaks. Your Grace, I work very hard in Dalavis. I put immense effort into securing the magic stone venture, to develop the North even further. Considering all that effort, could you please grant me just one request? He asked. What is it? Let me stay in the castle until the war ends. I want to be near you for as long as possible. She came closer to the Duke and said, That's all I wish for. I ask you sincerely. Then, wrapping her arm around the Duke's neck and leaning close to his face, she said, Please. Suddenly, Neris appeared and saw the 2 of them close together through the doorway. After a while, Catherine sat in front of the fire in the room. She tapped her finger on the book, lost in thought. No matter how I think about it, I don't understand. He said his ideal woman was someone who kissed him without hesitation. Why did he avoid it? And such a dry reaction, too. Catherine recalled that he said, Understood. I'll do as you wish, she said to himself. Why did he respond like that? Strange. No man has ever reacted to me that way. Could it be he's thinking of Neris? Catherine remembered that she had told Neris. Then I shall see you soon, Your Grace. Ho! You're right on time. What a shame, though the Duke said he was going to attend to some duties. I'll arrange another meeting later. And who knew he was so bold? Perhaps he couldn't resist the jewel of high society. His Grace certainly has a discerning eye. She thinking again. Ha, I didn't expect her to freeze like that. That's not even naivete, it's outright foolishness. In just 10 days of my absence, she became so smug after spending time with the Duke. It's hilarious how she's shocked by something so trivial. But it's a pity I didn't actually get to kiss him. Perhaps I should teach Neris a lesson, that I can easily break such shallow interest. She said, I feel it's time for a true life lesson, dear sister. The next day, Duke and Neris were riding horses, and Neris was thinking, what should I do? I can't get yesterday's scene out of my mind. Maybe I misinterpreted what I saw. Neris recalled that Catherine says, and who knew he was so bold? Perhaps he couldn't resist the jewel of high society. The jewel of high society. It's true that the position of Duchess suits my sister perfectly. She has built her reputation through consistent high society activities since childhood, while I have spent my life reading books in my room, never even becoming a debutante. On top of that, I even had a sleepwalking problem. If Ian were to find out. He turned his face and asked, Neris, are you alright? You look unwell. If you're not feeling well, let's head back, she replied. Oh no! I'm fine. I was just thinking about the thesis I showed you. It's nothing, so please don't worry about me. After a while, Neris sat on the bench and, as she looked around, she started thinking, goodness, what a beautiful place. The north is truly breathtaking. But why did he bring me here instead of Catherine? Did they have a falling out that I don't know about? He came and asked, Are you cold, Neris? She turned and replied, I'm fine, thank you. Since coming to the north, I've become quite hardy. I can handle this level of cold. Back home, I was always falling ill. My past self would be shocked to see me now. He came closer, sat down, and asked, Neris, have I done something? She replies, Pardon? He said, You've been avoiding eye contact and keeping your distance, and you seem down. If I've unknowingly hurt you, please tell me. He extended his hand towards her hand while saying, I want to get closer to you, not further apart. She asked, Ian, do you intend to get engaged to my sister? He asked. What do you mean? She replied. It shouldn't have happened, but I saw you with her in the drawing room yesterday. She called me there, and I saw you too. He thinks, that woman. I thought it was odd when she suddenly clung to me. Who would have thought she'd pull such a ridiculous trick? What an utterly despicable person. Then he said, Neris, the only person I wish to kiss is you. There was absolutely nothing between me and your sister that day. It may be hard to believe, but it's the truth. Moreover, I'm not the kind of man who kisses just any woman, and I have no interest in your sister. You are my betrothed, Neris Top Anna, so please don't misunderstand. Hearing all this, she thinks, Indeed, I don't have my sister's fame in high society, nor the ability to start a grand business, but at least, my love for Ian will never waver. Neris got up and then kissed him like this. She said, I cherish you deeply too, but could you give me a little time? I wish to give you the perfect answer. I'll try to respond as quickly as possible. He replied, Yes, I'll wait as long as it takes. After a while, the head of the council bar said, I just don't understand. Your Highness, you insisted on war against the Western Kingdom, saying you could not forgive their provocations, even against our advice. But now you wish for a truce? What made you change your mind? Prince Theophilus added, shamefully, I did not realize how prolonged the war would be. I admit, my perspective was rather narrow. Their unexpected magical prowess extended the war over a year. As a result, our nation's finances are in dire straits. If this continues, the people will suffer. To prevent that, a swift truce seems the best course of action, which is why I'm discussing it with you. Another member shouted loudly. This can all be resolved when we seize half of the Western Kingdom's territory, the head of the council bar said while shaking his head. Indeed. We cannot support a truce when victory is within reach. At night, a knight arrived at Crown Prince Theophilus's residence and said, Your Highness. Prince Theophilus asked, What happened with Giovanni? Knight replied, Unfortunately, he still has not finished. Prince Theophilus asked again, Why am I surrounded by incompetents? Activate the magic circle immediately. I am going to see that old man. Meanwhile, in a different place, while an old man was busy with his work, a girl came with tea and said, Master, shall we take a break for some tea? The old man replied, Yes, let's. A young boy standing behind spoke. Please rest now. You've been overworking yourself lately. The old man smiled and replied, Haha, you should be the ones resting. You young ones are still growing. Staying up late won't do. Don't worry about me. Go to bed. Young boy shout loudly. Master, you must not continue this commission. Girl says, You mustn't. To create something so evil. It's madness. The old man speaks. I'm sorry, children, but it is. A door opened suddenly, and everyone got scared. Prince Theophilus entered alongside the knights and asked, Oh, enjoying a nice cup of tea, are we? I take it you've seen some results? The old man bowed and replied, I apologize, Your Highness. The magical artifact you sought is far from completion. Please, I just need a little more time. Prince Theophilus grabbed him by the collar. Seeing this, both the boy and the girl shouted loudly, Master! As soon as they began to move forward, the knights stopped them with their swords. Prince Theophilus speaks, Giovanni. Surely someone who's read enough to become a grand mage is more than capable of this task. I put you up in comfort because of your exceptional talent in creating magical artifacts. Have you decided you've lived enough? The prince grabbed his throat tightly, and the young boy shouted loudly, "Please, master!" The girl bowed respectfully and said, "Please have mercy, your highness. Magical artifacts have different effects on each individual, and we're working to address that. If you could give us just one more week. Just one more week will be enough. We will have it completed by then." Theophilus let go of the master and said, "The student surpasses the master. With my great generosity, I'll grant you one more week. But this time, you must keep your word. Only then can you have tea again with your inept master." On the other side, the Duke was heading back. Catherine speaks. "Have a safe journey to the territories, Your Grace. It hasn't been long since we reunited, and now we're parting again. It's truly heartbreaking. Your injuries haven't fully healed yet, so please be careful. I will write to you every day," he says. "Don't bother. I won't have time to read them." Hearing this, Neris lost in thought. Goodness, it's the first time I've seen her cling to a man like that. He's only away for a few days visiting the territories. Then she recalled he asked, "Would you like to accompany me on the journey?" she asked. "Would that be all right?" he replied. "Of course. It would be beneficial for you. I've scheduled the Ruel visit for the last day. This time, I'll also be stopping by Carlisle. Would you like to take a tour?" she said. "Oh. Then he speaks. "Neris, if you need anything while I'm away, just tell Norman. He will arrange it immediately. So please take care while I'm gone. I look forward to seeing you again soon." She smiled and said, "Yes. Have a safe trip, Your Grace." When the Duke took Neris's hand, Catherine was getting angry. As the Duke departed, Neris was saying farewell like this. Then she thinks, "I'll have to spend my days without Ian for now. I already feel lonely." Catherine asked, "Neris, are you busy today? If you have time, could you come to the greenhouse later? I have something serious to discuss with you." Hearing this, she thinks again. "Are you plotting something again, sister? Planning to undermine me like before? Or perhaps pair me with another man? I hope it's not to disrupt my relationship with Ian, because if that's your intention again, I won't stay silent this time." Then she said, "Yes, I'll come if I have time later." She thinks again. "Please, Catherine, don't choose the worst path again. Whatever it is, please don't." After catching sight of her, Neris later made his way to the greenhouse. Catherine said, "Oh, you're here. We were just talking about you." Norman and Jean were standing politely. Catherine added, "I thought it was time everyone knew about your ailment. That way, they can deal with it properly. After all, how else would they protect someone afflicted with such a haunted illness? I'm sorry for telling you this only now. I was afraid you might be scared of my sister, so I couldn't do so sooner. I'm sure you're well aware of how people see sleepwalkers." She showed them a video on Magic Globe. Sleepwalking, also known as somnambulism, is a sleep disorder characterized by walking or other activities while asleep. In society, it's sometimes called a ghostly affliction, though it is a curable condition. Its cause is unclear, and there's a risk of recurrence. Its name thus reflects a certain anxiety and ridicule around it. Sleepwalkers have always had to hide their condition from society, and Neris was no exception. Then she said, "Please, for my sake, be compassionate toward our Neris." Norman says, "It's all right, Lady Topana." She speaks, "Hearing you say that eases my worry." Norman added, "Well, we will take our leave now." She said, "Of course. Thank you for coming today." Neris asked, "Catherine, why are you doing this now? Don't say it is for my sake. Be honest. Why did you do that?" She replied calmly, "I thought you should know too. Your sleepwalking only happens when you meet me. Sadly, you seem to blame me for what happened at your birthday banquet. Your affliction started after your 13th birthday celebrations, didn't it? Perhaps the event was so shocking that it triggered something. As I recall, that incident happened because you slipped. Yet you blame me without reason." Neris says, "No, it was your fault. You tripped me that day. I clearly remember you stepping on my foot. Not only that, I recall trusting your word and nearly getting kicked by that horse. How can you say all those things weren't your fault?" She speaks, "They were just childish pranks. All siblings are like that at that age. Anyway, your condition remains, as you saw from the detection sphere. It was all on spring. So, be as careful as possible, and I suggest you get prepared. You'll be at the academy soon, and you don't want to get expelled right after enrolling." Neris clenched her fist and said, "I've always felt it was strange, but now I understand why you suggested breakfast as soon as I arrived in the north. You knew my sleepwalking only occurred on the days I met you, so you used that fact To show the Duke's people me wandering at night. You wanted to see me humiliated. Why are you doing this to me? She replied. To give you a final chance. Neris asked. What chance? She replied. To stop fawning over the Duke. Live quietly. And leave for the academy. This is your final warning. She raised his hand, brushed Neris's shoulder, and then said, Shall I tell you why I'm called the flower of high society? In the capital, I remove anything that becomes a thorn in my side. No matter who it is, I'm giving you a precious last chance. So listen carefully. You have 3 months until the academy entrance exam. I won't tell the Duke about your sleepwalking. So leave here as soon as spring comes, pass the exam, and don't return, even if you fail. Otherwise, I'll tell the Duke everything. No matter how generous his grace is, supporting someone afflicted with the ghostly affliction would be a big ask, wouldn't it? Oh. Or how about leaving today? Doesn't matter where. Then you can focus more on studying for the entrance exam. After that, Neris lost in thoughts. From that point, her words became a blur. All I could think about was getting away. I barely remember what I did next. I think I met Norman and Jean along the way, but I'm not sure. I can't recall what we talked about. It's dreadful. I swore I wouldn't let her get to me again. Why do I always feel so weak and pitiful around her? I thought I had changed a lot. But perhaps not. Will Ian ever understand someone like me? Pathetic, and haunted with this ghostly affliction. Ian, what would you say to me? Ian, take care while I'm away, Neris. I'll miss you terribly. Neris blinked her eyes and said, Ian, why are you here? You definitely left for the expedition around the duchy today. How are you by my side now? At night, Duke thinks. Today went quite smoothly. At this rate, the next region won't take long either. I wonder what Neris is doing now? I only saw her when she saw me off this morning. Would it be all right to go see her for a moment? I'm sure it will. We're not too far from the castle. I'll just take a peek at her face and sneak back. What could go wrong? Neris asked. Why are you here? Is this a dream? You couldn't possibly be in the castle. You should be in the Galan region by now, he replied. I just found you with your head against the hallway wall. It seems like your sleepwalking has returned. It looked too dangerous to leave you there. So I was moving you to the bed. I'm really sorry. I was planning to tell you soon. Neris speaks. The flaw I wanted to keep hidden. Now I've shown it to the one person I'd hoped would never see it. What do I do now? Put me down, Ian, Duke says. Neris, then she said. Please put me down right now. You should return, Ian. You should be touring the duchy. So go back and focus on your duties without worrying about me. Neris opened the door and quietly left the room. We can discuss today's events later, Duke says. I'm sorry for startling you, Neris. This would never have happened had I taken better care of you. I'm sorry for everything. She started crying. A few days later, in Neris's room, Jean was brushing her, and she was lost in thought. What should I do now? It's been a week since that day. I have no idea what's going on. Since when did Ian know I was a sleepwalker? Since the day we first met? Or when he taught me to ride? What must he have thought? Seeing me roam like a ghost at night? Does he perhaps despise me as my parents do? Jean said. Lady Neris? Neris startled and says, Yes? Jean asked. Are you unwell, my lady? You look very pale. Neris replied. No, I'm fine. What were we talking about? Jean pressed Neris's hair and said, His Grace's aide has delivered a message. His Grace has arrived at Ruel, the final destination of the tour. He asks again if you are really planning to come. Even though you clearly said you would, why ask again? Neris thinking, That's right. I did say I'd go to Ruel. I planned to visit the academy with Ian and spend time together. He must think I don't want to go because of what happened that day. Neris said, Jean, deliver my letter to my sister. After that, we will depart immediately. Let's not keep Ian waiting. The streets of Ruel shimmer under glowing festival lights, alive with laughter and music. Seeing all this, Neris starts thinking, Goodness, the North never ceases to amaze me. They've installed warming magic stones in the streetlights, protecting against both cold and darkness. Thanks to such thorough winter preparations, even the children can enjoy the winter festival. This must all be thanks to Ian's efforts. Duke came and said, Neris, drink this while you watch. It will warm you up. Neris held him and said, Oh, thank you. Then she thinks, I need to discuss my sleepwalking soon. But it's so hard to bring it up first. I can't even look directly at him. I'm afraid of seeing disappointment in his eyes. I'm so afraid of that. Duke asked, Did Catherine Topana suspect anything? We did all we could to keep our trip here quiet. Neris blushed and replied, Oh no. Not at all. She even gave me pocket money, telling me to stay longer. Duke asked. Pocket money? Neris replies. Yes. She sent a small note with a pouch of gold coins. She said to enjoy my first trip with it. Maybe she's trying to get closer to you while I'm away. She seems to be making an effort. But it's all in vain, Duke said. My heart will never change, no matter what happens. I wish to use the pardon you once gave me, but before I do so, please hear me out. Ian then told me everything that had happened. He spoke of the transportation circle at the manor, and when we truly first met, he spoke honestly about it all, how he changed rooms for me, after finding out I wandered at night, and the theory of magic book. Neris surprised and asked, So, that kiss wasn't a dream? Were you not scared or disturbed? My family was ashamed of me because of my sleepwalking, Duke replied. Not at all. I found it endearing. You can't imagine how comforting those moments with you were during the war. I intended to tell you everything before leaving for the battlefield, but I kept postponing it. I've spent the last week thinking about what to say, and this is all I could come up with. I'm truly sorry for hiding it all this time, and for not telling you sooner. Hearing this, she kissed him and speaks. You've been feeling sorry for me ever since that first night you saw me sleepwalking, haven't you? There's no need for that anymore, and you don't need to use the pardon. Thank you for looking after me, and for protecting me. Truly, I am so grateful, Ian. I read in a book long ago that an ice fairy who loved the cold appeared in the north and blessed this land. The fairy especially liked lovers who came together in winter. It is said that the fairy blesses them with snow, and the love of those blessed couples is said to last in eternity. On the other side, Prince Theophilus said, Ha ha! What a wondrous artifact! How clever! Truly, this tiny brooch can control another's mind and body at my whim. Finally, Giovanni's masterpiece is complete. Thanks to this, I can deal with the servants, who secretly hate me, and it lifts my mood, which is pleasing. Today's truce negotiations happen to be such a drag. Tied up with rope, Melissa sat silently in front of Prince Theophilus. Then Theophilus said, I have a question though. Tell me, Melissa, this control magic artifact you made with your mentor, are there any precautions? Melissa added, Well, we kept trying to improve it. The magical effects vary from person to person. It easily affects those with weak minds, but its influence on those with strong minds is uncertain. Theophilus said, I see. Then let's test it out, shall we? Considering how you used a teleportation spell to save your brother as your master died, you seem to have quite a strong will. Then he asked, while using magic, You'd be a perfect test subject, wouldn't you? Let's see how long you can withstand it. His eyes turned as red as blood. The Theophilus asked, Melissa, where did you send your twin Benjamin? While looking for a book in the bookstore, Neris asks, Jean, do you think Ian will like this book? Maybe he would prefer one about battle strategies. Oh. Or perhaps something entirely different, Jean replied. Take your time choosing, my lady. The winter festival is still in full swing, so there's no need to rush, Neris says. But Ian already gave me a book as a gift, Neris recalled. Duke said, Neris, I got this for you. Jean added, Well, that's because the master is from the north. The tradition of gifting books to loved ones during the winter festival is known mainly to locals. Besides, you've only been in the north for a few months. Don't rush, my lady. Take your time to choose thoughtfully. That's what makes it more meaningful. Neris stepped forward and said happily, All right, then I'll take my time. Jean speaks calmly, Very well. If you need anything, I will be at the counter. Jean walks away. Neris browses the shelves slowly. Then she thinks, Let's see, what would be good? Is there anything from the eastern continent? Something special would be nice. Sibylla offers a book and asks, How about this one? I'm certain the recipient would find this very intriguing. It's perfect for a special lover. Neris surprised and asked, Aren't you Sibylla? Sibylla smiled and replied, Ho ho, I'm delighted you remember my name. Neris recalled, How could I forget? Your advice changed me a lot. Then she says, Thank you so much. I've learned horseback riding, and my stamina is improving. Oh, I haven't learned swordsmanship yet due to circumstances, but I plan to learn it when the opportunity arises. Sibylla, handing over the book, said, There's no need to rush. Learn at your own pace. You're already doing so well, my lady. Just keep up the steady effort, and you'll surely achieve what you desire. Neris said to himself, Huh, where did she go? She opens the book held in her hands and starts to think while looking at it. There's no title or even a table of contents. It's filled with magic circles I've never seen before. These are far too intricate to decipher. Jean suddenly appeared and said, My lady, shall we buy some cake on the way back? There's a place nearby selling delicious limited edition cakes. Neris asked, Where is it? Then she thinks, Sibylla? She says while running. Sorry, Jean. Let's talk later. Jean confused and asked, What? Where are you going, my lady? My lady, Neris calling out. Wait a moment, Sibylla, I have questions about this book. What kind of book is this? Why is it filled with magic circles? Neris runs around a corner and collides with a young man, Benjamin, who stumbles and collapses. She said, Ah. Are you alright? I'm really sorry. I was in such a hurry. I wasn't watching where I was going. Suddenly she thinks, You don't look well at all. Then she asked, Can you hear me? Benjamin asked. What should I do? She speaks. Wake up. Hey. Open your eyes. Inside a dim room, Melissa kneels beside an unconscious Benjamin. Just before Melissa calls out to wake him, Benjamin opened his eyes and said, Melissa speaks. Listen carefully, Benjamin. I'm going to use a teleportation spell to send you to the Igor Mountains. Once you arrive, go straight to our master's secret hideout in the north. Stay hidden there for a while, okay? Benjamin says, Come with me. The Crown Prince killed our master. If you face him alone, Melissa speaks. You know we lack the magic power to go together now. I'll escape and join you in the north. Lay low until then. When the time comes, we'll go to Dalavis, just as your master wished, and we'll live happily ever after. Suddenly he got up, and when he looked, he was on the bed. Then he thinks, Where am I? What is this place? Duke, holding a book, sits to one side and speaks. Calm down. You are currently in the Dayfried family's town residence. One of the safest places you could be, and I know a bit about you. You're Benjamin Dawson, the adopted son and apprentice of the great mage Giovanni Dawson, correct? Benjamin asked. How do you know that? Duke stood up and said, Everyone knows Giovanni, famed for his artifact development. The same goes for his apprentices. Of course, you and your sister were famous even as students at the Capital Academy. Everyone expected you to become skilled mages upon graduation. You were regarded as future stars. Duke, stepping toward him, said, And now you're wandering in Ruel. Did something happen to Giovanni Dawson? Benjamin says, I'm sorry, but I can't say. I appreciate your help, but I don't wish to discuss my circumstances. Hearing this, Duke speaks. I know Giovanni was exploited by the royal family due to the Mage's Covenant. Giovanni, who earned the title of Great Mage through magical farming and artifacts, was pressured into the Mage's Covenant by the Queen, who adored the Crown Prince. The Covenant is an unbreakable contract for mages, forcing Giovanni into servitude to the royal family, and now his apprentice is found in Ruel, in such a dire state. Then Duke asked, If you want revenge against the Crown Prince, just tell me, what did Crown Prince Theophilus command Giovanni to do? After some time passes, the Duke speaks up in the ballroom. Let me introduce you. This bright, remarkable young lady is my fiancé, Neris Topana. We've completed the engagement contract, but it hasn't been made public yet. Neris, this is Benjamin Dawson, a brilliant magician, recognized as a prodigy at the academy. Benjamin said, Thank you, my lady. You saved my life. Neris asked, Are you sure you're okay? You still look a little pale. Benjamin replied, I'm much better now. Thank you. She is arranging the papers carefully on the desk and said, I heard from Ian about Benjamin's situation. This is an academic paper on magic that I wrote. I brought it, thinking it might be of help to you. He asked, Did you study magic? Neris replied, No. I actually plan to apply to the accounting faculty at Northern Academy, but I've always loved magic. The Duke walks closer to Neris and asks softly, Neris, didn't you promise something? Those eyes, they were only meant for me to see. I'm truly disappointed that you didn't keep your promise. Neris, surprised, asks, Ian, what are you saying? If someone hears you, they might misunderstand. Duke asked, It's not a misunderstanding, is it? It's the truth. Well, we should leave for the academy now. The carriage is waiting outside. Neris said, All right. As Neris was leaving, she said, See you later, Benjamin. Then Benjamin says, Tell me, ask you, is it really appropriate to introduce me to your fiancé, whose relationship hasn't been publicly announced yet? Duke asked. Does that mean you intend to disclose it recklessly? Benjamin replied, That's not it. It's just that I don't understand why you would trust someone you've just met. Duke said, It's not that I trust you particularly to introduce her. As you saw earlier, my fiancé loves magic a lot. That's why I thought, As a magician, you should treat her well in the future. Moreover, when she heard about your situation, she insisted on wanting to help you. So, as you promised, please finish the magic resistance artifact against the magic artifact of the Crown Prince. I will be thinking of a way to save your sister. I hope you succeed. Meanwhile, Academy, he says. Neris, don't be so nervous. Just think of it as having a relaxed conversation with the professor. She speaks. But I'm going to have my thesis evaluated. No matter how much I try to calm myself, I'm so nervous. While opening the door, he said, Your thesis was truly excellent. It's difficult for anyone to write a thesis of that level by self-study. So be confident and show it to the professor proudly. I'm sure the professor will recognize your talent as well. Then she entered the professor's room. After a while, she smiled and said to the Duke, I feel really good. Now I know how pleasant it is to step on freshly fallen snow. Hearing this, he says, Isn't there another reason you're feeling good besides that? She added, That's true, actually, I feel even better because the professor praised me earlier. I didn't expect him to praise me right from the title. After reviewing the thesis, the professor shouted loudly, The relationship between mathematics and magic. From the title, I already thought it was something extraordinary. And the content is even more surprising. You applied the regularity of formulas and equations to the spell, and had the idea of simplifying a complex magical formula. Even someone like me, who knows nothing about magic, found it very logical and interesting. If this paper is actually applied to magical equations, it will contribute greatly to the universalization and advancement of magic, Duke says. I told you before. I'm sure they will recognize your talent. From now on, more people will recognize your abilities, so walk with your head held high and with confidence. Understood? She speaks. Then, as you say, I will try to be more confident. Then Neris smiled as she handed over the book and said, Though it's a little late, this is for you. As soon as he saw it, the Duke asked, A magic book? Neris replied, Yes, but they're all magical circles I've never seen before. Actually, it was recommended by a fortune teller who gave me some very valuable advice. He said it's the perfect gift for a special partner. Before, I asked you to wait a little for me to become your fiancé, right? I'll give you my answer now. I want to be your wife. And I also want to take revenge on my sister. You might be disappointed to hear this, but I can't forgive my sister, who is always trying to drive a wedge between us. So, I plan to get revenge on her for everything she's done to me. Would you still accept me, even if I'm like this? Hearing this, Duke asked, Do you remember what I told you before? That you could use me as many times as you wanted, whenever you wanted. Use me however you want, in any way. Because, no matter what, I will move for you, Neris said. Thank you, Ian. Then at the cafe in the northern village, people are talking to each other at the festival, about the winter festival that was held in Ruhr. I heard the snowman contest was impressive. Catherine is sitting there, listening to everything, another replied. I heard that too. A well-matched couple kissed in front of the winter fairy snowman, right? First said, Oh. And right after that, they say it started snowing, like the fairy was blessing them. After hearing all this, she gets angry and thinks to herself, He seems like a gloomy butler. Does he dare mock me? Then she recalled that Duke will return soon to the northern mansion. Then she said, Stop repeating the same thing and tell me something more precise. The newspaper today said the Duke is still in Ruhr. Are you lying to me? Norman extended her hand and replied, No, really. I also heard the Duke is returning today. That's why I prepared this dinner. I'm sorry for repeating myself, but please wait a little longer. Catherine lost in thought. It seems like I should go to Ruhr as well. I heard that Neris also left for Ruhr for an academy visit. If that means she'll meet the Duke. No. This time it's my turn. I can't let Neris steal another opportunity from me. She was coming from the stairs. An old woman said to her, You seem to have a lot on your mind, miss. But rushing like that will only cause trouble. Wait a moment. Why not put aside that urgency and listen to what I have to say? I have the answer you're looking for, Catherine asked. Is it true that your name is Sibylla? It's certain. That ragged clothing and his dying voice. Unusually accurate at predicting the future. That blind fortune teller, right? Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, as it really helps our channel grow. Thanks.